Bashers. Oh, I got a little bit of a hiccup in my green screen. Hey, everybody, how are you? It's Dirk. It is Friday, April 11th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is time for the Friday Oisin Dirk Extravaganza on Friday night, and I guess he's still doing his show. So, therefore, the low turnout. Wow, 6 people in the room. Wow, what's going on here? Bruce Stuttgart was number 1 in the room. TGIF. Let me send you a tuna roomie as soon as I can. Thanks so very much for being in there at number 1. You had to give Dave a break from being number 1. Somebody's got to give Dave a break from being number 1. That guy's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. I haven't counted yet, but he's probably at least 10, 15 above anybody, the nearest competitor. But you're up there, man. You've had quite a few. I noticed, Proust, you've had quite a bit. You were taking one. You were taking the break, and your thumbs were on hiatus. That's pretty great. Kyle Payne, happy Friday. Oh, happy Friday to you. And Kevin Landon's here at number 4. Upvoted today, number 4, greetings to Dirk, Oisin, and all the bashers working today, so I'll have to catch the replay. Bad on. Bash on, right? That's what you meant. Andrew Wolkowicz, congratulations to Proust. I'm late to the party. I'm working till 5:30. Have fun and be safe. Inspire others with your actions. Upvote and subscribe. Become a Patreon if you can. Please do if you can. And just hit that little thing down there if you can, if you like the show and you want to be a part. We're going to have a couple of drinks tonight. We're going to have some fun, some party time. Andrew Wolkowicz, Canadian $5. Have a great day and a beautiful weekend, everyone. Upvote and subscribe. Thanks, buddy. And this is the gong. It belongs only to you, my friend. What's going on in this Basher Friday for everybody? I got 2 choices tonight. I've got the Confidence de Prieur Lichine, which is a Margot, which is a lovely bottle right here. It's a 2020. And then my local wine guy turned me on to this because it's been in the bottle a long time. It's a Chateau Sainte Marguerite, and it's a Medoc 2008. That looks to be pretty good. I think we might open that because it's been in the bottle so damn long. And yeah, it might be fun. I got a little cuddy poo, and I'm gonna have to tell you the truth, just because. Why shouldn't I? To the beautiful Scotty Love, I broke one of the glasses just now, and I was polishing them up so they look really great, and they looked good. And I noticed a spot on one, and I used a little curve, and it cracked in my hand, and I felt so bad. And then I realized I was bleeding all over the kitchen. I was like, oh crap. But I put some stuff on it, and I'll be just fine. I'll replace it. Don't you worry. Don't go there, because it's beautiful. And it's funny. I love these glasses. They're so gorgeous. They're so beautiful. But they are very, very light and delicate. They're Riedels. And I'll be drinking out of this glass, and he'll be drinking out of one that's not so nice. Andy M is here. Good evening, kind sir. Wishing you and yours only good things. Let's hit him up with the thing that works for us. And where is it? Only good. I have so many choices now for banners. It's unbelievable. Only good things to you, the incomparable one. Thanks, buddy boy. Appreciate it so much. And Andy M, thank you so much. Renaissance. Oh, lovely pussy. Oh, pussy, my love. What a beautiful pussy you are. You are. What a beautiful pussy you are. Is there a tune that goes that? Oh, lovely pussy. Oh, pussy, my love. What a beautiful pussy you are. You are. What a beautiful pussy you are. That's pretty good. What is that from, Julian? You're crazy. Panel power. I just said pussy 50 times on the show. That's crazy. Pussy cats. I thought that today's thumbnail was really fun. Where the hell is it? I'll pull it up. I thought it was really, really cool. It's I did a play on, where is it? Not Basher of the Day. Come on, people. Where is it? It is thumbnails as the most recent one. Why is this mic? Oh, that's taking a long time. Where is it? You can act stupid again. It's called Catastic. I thought it was pretty great. And if you get what it is, it's the show. It's the show icon, the original show icon. You acting stupid? Share screen. Window. That. It's the original show icon, but cats instead. I thought that was pretty damn clever. I was at a loss as to what to do for, I'm not going to do the storyline or any of that stuff for Classic Bashers because it's the show. We don't do the gallery. We don't do a lot of things. We just get a little bit tipsy and talk and talk and talk. I just thought that was a really fun one for everybody. And it did a pretty good job. It took a couple of tries, but hey. Daniel Gutierrez in the room. Hey, Bashers. Now, I have to say something here. There is a mystery afoot. And I don't know if this is some nefarious plan or how this worked out. But yesterday on the show, I said, thanks so much to Daniel Gutierrez for sending me that cup, that diner cup that's, Grecian. And I said, thanks so much on the show because the envelope that it's in a box, in a bag. And the box had the name Daniel on it. And I said, thank you very much. And then I got a message from they call him Scotty Love. And he said, idiot, I sent you the glass. And then I said, wait a minute. So I went downstairs to Rose's because that's where I took the box out of the bag. And I went and I found the bag and it says Daniel Gutierrez on it. And it came from Texas, which neither of those fine folks are from. I don't know where the cup originates from, but there is a mystery afoot here on the iBashers. It makes no sense to me whatsoever why, if Scotty Love sent me that, why I would have another actual major basher on the show and have their name on it. So he wrote me a letter saying, I didn't send you that cup. Thanks so much for thanking me, but it's not for me. And be careful, people out there. And I am now trying to figure out exactly how I got something in the mail with a basher's name on it who did not send it to me. So that's very interesting. Unless Scotty loves playing with us, but he's not. Because, I talk to him a lot. Anyway, weird. Thank you anyway, Daniel. Ray, it's dark in here. What time did you send that? Oh, that was 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, Louise, beautiful Louise is here. Good evening, Dirk and all the Bashers. Good evening to you, beautiful one. How are you? And Mart is here. Happy Friday, all iBashers. Upvoted. Please upvote if you can. Really helps out the show. I know we'll have a lot of people in here later on, but you guys matter the most because you're the actual Bashers. We'll catch the rerun. Oh, Dino said, it's sleep, eat, work, Rolex, repeat at the moment for me. Eat, sleep, work, Rolex. Eat, sleep, work, Rolex. Good for you, my friend. Happy Friday to you all, and be kind to all your brothers and sisters, wherever they may be in this world at the moment. Indeed, that beautiful couple and their beautiful children yesterday makes you really think about, I would never get on a helicopter. There's only one way, and that's down. In New York City yesterday, it was brought to our attention, and it's been all over the headlines here. And, I live not too far from there. I live on the other side of I live 2 blocks from the East River, and that was on the other side of Manhattan. But what a tragic event, this beautiful family from Madrid. The whole family wiped out from a sightseeing tour. That is one of the most tragic things. Helicopters and me, I just never understood the adventure, why people love them so much. I don't get it at all. And it really scares the crap out of me. This beautiful family wiped out. It's a shame. Thank God it's Friday. Sheena still ranting about Trump. Well, that'll go on and on and on and on. I don't see that ending anytime soon. Is that Oscar Wilde? Maybe it is Oscar Wilde. Valve 789. Hey, how cool is that? It probably is. Mart says, I hate politics. It's all bullshit with me. It is all bullshit. It's all ego and stroking. And anybody who goes along with the fray, it's generally because it benefits them. And all I know is, like, we have 401k and we have a bunch of investments that are very, very, very meager and very, very, small. But man, did we take a colossal hit this week. It is frightening to me. Like the whole, it's if it doesn't pick up, it's going to really change the outcome of our trajectory, our plans. It's just not fun. I could not believe how it went down the way it did. And it's scary. And I don't even know how that stuff works, really. I'm not smart enough. Roar of the tiger, it's the thrill of the... Where have you been all of our life, beautiful Roar of the tiger? How are you and your family? How are you? We've been worried about you for so long. I haven't seen you in a while. It's so great to see you live in the room, man. I had enough of helicopters. Did you really go through that? Wow. Yeah, I can't imagine anybody wanting... Listen, my dad was in aviation and I love planes and all that stuff. I understand the way they work, but helicopters, man, they can't glide. They just I mean, even if you're in a 777 or 747, there is some modicum of ability for it to glide. There's that these pilots are incredible. You can, without any engine power, you can land that plane safely. It's been done. Helicopters, you just can't do it. And I don't, man, and they always say never bring your entire family on a flight, but man, on a helicopter. And this is not the first time, my friends, in New York City. We've had many a tragedy happen in the city with helicopters. And it makes you wonder about what's the maintenance record. These are very, very small charter companies, like TC for Magnum. They're not, big giant conglomerates. It's not an affiliate of Delta or American or any of the big airlines we have here, United. These are very, very small mom and pop companies. And I'm not, no, I love mom and pop businesses. They make the world go round. There's nothing better than that, but you really have to make sure you've got a sterling record to keep that going. And it's very scary. My hearts go out to those people. It's unbelievably terrible. Fergal's here. He's enjoying a Frank Fellin Steph 2019. Beautiful. I've had that wine. It is delicious. He says, hey, Dirk and all the bashers. Great to see you. And Melly C. Hi, gorgeous. How are you? Happy Friday, Dirk, and all the bashers to you. And what are you, skinning somebody? This overcoat smells of human. Did we look at a picture like that? Oh my God, that's hilarious. Mystery cup. Yeah, is that not the weirdest thing? And I'm only making that public because it's worrisome because, one basher sent me a cup and the address on it is not Daniel's address. It is from another state, but it is applied as if it is from there. So it makes me worried about, is there some kind of cross-contamination? I don't know whether or not it was from Amazon. I guess Scotty Love will have to tell me all about that to get to the nitty-gritty, because I find it disturbing that his name was on it, printed. I took photographs of it, and I sent it to the both of them. And while I appreciate the gift and everything, I do worry about its origin. It's kind of creepy. Yeah, politics is boring, especially nowadays. When it's all so real. It's all so real. Mart, I'm currently watching the TV series Dope Thief, to my surprise, with Kate Mulgrew. Oh, I don't know about this. Dope Thief. How interesting. Kate Mulgrew, fire. She's one of my favorite Star Trek heroines from one of my favorite shows of all time, Voyager. I love Kate Mulgrew. Oh my God. I want to be friends with her. First of all, read her books. Her biography is called Born with Teeth. And her second book, I forget the title off the top of my head, but it's about her mother's descent into Alzheimer's. And I had a mother who had cognitive problems, and I have other people in my life who suffer from cognitive disability, I should say. So it's very, very difficult read, but it's poignant. She's a master of the English language. She is an incredible writer and emotional, and she comes from a very, very large family outside of Dubuque, Iowa, a very Irish Catholic family. Her mother was friends with the Kennedys. And she was a debutante on the East Coast of Manhattan, and she was whisked away by this Irish farmer. It's crazy story. But Kate Mulgrew, I absolutely love her. Started watching a show this afternoon. We had some major errands to deal with this morning of the legal variety. And we started watching the new John Hamm series. It's called My Friends and My Friends and Neighbors. And, I didn't know what kind of, I didn't have any expectations, because he's mostly been, after Don Draper, after Mad Men, he's kind of been relegated to comedy, Saturday Night Live. He's hosting Saturday Night Live this week, which means that the show is positioned. Anyway, it's fantastic. It was one of the best opening scenes I've ever seen on a TV show. That show with Jeff Daniels, I think, had the best opening I've ever seen to date, which was an HBO show. That was that one where they were running a network. I forget what that was called. But also, oddly enough, Olivia Munn was in that show, and she's in this show, and she's terrific. John Hamm could not be playing a better role for him at this time in his life. It's funny. It's dramatic. It's very interesting. We watched one episode. There are two available, and it was terrific. So really, okay. So I read the reviews. When I like something, if I don't like something, I don't read the reviews. But if I like something, I want to see what the cognoscenti are talking about. And most of the reviews are fair to good. And then there's some people saying that these are tired old tropes. First of all, the word trope is a tired old trope. So people need to stop saying tropes. It's annoying. Um, we were watching this other show called Adolescence, and I don't think I can watch anymore because it's about some kid murdering another kid. And they were using this word called incel, which I had to look up, and I had no idea what that meant. And then they explained it on the show that it's some word that was pretty much invented by Andrew Tate, somebody whom I do not like. And I think he's a brotard, and I have no time for a guy like that and his shenanigans and his crap. He's a huckster, and he's a bullshit artist, and he's a egomaniac. No time for that guy. But anyway, incel, you guys ever heard of that? It's involuntarily celibate. And it's basically a guy who just can't get any. And he never will. And it's an insult. And I thought it was grotesque. Anyway, this new John Hamm show, I can't tell you enough. Hey, Spazuzu. Hey, look at that. Welcome to the show. Hello. Woo. That's not true. Helicopters have variable pitch rotor blade, and you have one chance to control your descent. Only one. It's called. Well, I know about that, but it's very rare that happens. But thank you for the edification. I appreciate it. I mean, yeah, you have one chance, and it's not easy, and you have to be a great pilot, like maybe Roar the Tiger with his incredible skills or something like that. But thank you for the super chat, and welcome to the show. And I love smart people, and thank you for letting us know about that. I've actually watched a couple of things on controlled descent. It's just, you saw what happened with that thing, though. The rotors both came off. Like, how the hell did that happen? It looks as if the back rotor went off, hit the main rotor, the main helicopter blade, and knocked it off. And then that thing had nothing. So it was just a heavy object in the middle of the air, which is nuts. Anyway, super chat gong for you, number 2 for you. Thank you, Spazuzu, and welcome. And I like how it's Spazuzu. That's pretty damn cool. I like your name. It's great. Renaissance, The Owl and the Pussycat by Edward Lear. Well, then. You ever see that movie? I don't know if you like Barbara Streisand in any way, but she was a very funny and charming comedian when she was young. And it's George Segal and a couple of other great comedians. It's a late 60s movie where she plays the prostitute named Doris. And it's a pretty damn funny movie. It's called The Owl and the Pussycat. Of course, it has nothing to do with Lear, but, whatever. Mart says, I'm drinking my first bottle of Barolo red wine. It's very good. I tend to go for the Aussie wine. That's very interesting. Choice and taste is what makes the world go round. We all know this. And without choice and without taste, we'd all be the same boring people. That's why when people say, I love Radiohead, I'm like, good for you. I don't, but that's what makes the world go round. I've had some of the best Australian wine in the world. And I didn't get it. I'm not a big fan of New World wine at all. I don't like anything from South America, the Chile. I've had all the great Chileans and all that stuff. It's sulfite ridden and gives me a headache. I don't know what it is with that stuff. For me, it's France and Italy. I don't even like Spanish wine, and that's not New World wine. The Sheen and his brother Emmett loves. He loves the what's that one he loves? The Unico. And that tastes like orange peels to me. I don't know. But that's what makes the world go round. The best one we ever had was for Sheen's birthday a couple of years ago. Emmett and Dana got him a bottle of the Penfold Grange. And that's like a really $700-800 bottle of wine. And I remember I took a sip of it and I said, you guys enjoy that. Because I know that they will. And I maybe just, everybody's palate is so different. That's what I love about the human race, our different tastes and things. Some people like steak and some people like cheesecake, loose rotor blades as well. You're fucked. Yeah, that's definitely true. I love that it's written Spa Susie. Hey, Travis. Hey, and he's got a new thumbnail. Long time no see, my friend. Hey, Travis, how are you? Hello, Dirk and all the iBashers. Great to see you. Look at that. What a handsome shot. You look like the devil, as they say in Ireland. What a handsome devil he is. Great wrist on this guy. Great wrist presence. Always a great wrist model, our Travis. And he's got such talk about great. That's the thing, like taste and watches, right? I mean, everybody's going bananas. The Cubitist thing, I didn't hate it. Everybody hated it. I didn't hate that watch. I thought it was okay. The Land Dweller, it's okay. Do I want one? No. If I was to get another Rolex right now, I would want the 1908 or Air King. I'm the opposite of that. Yeah, and I like different. I like the Milgas is my main one, obviously, as you know. Glenn Parker says, Dirk, watch it till the end, especially episode 3. You talking about adolescence, Glenn Parker? Oh, there's the big guy in the room, ladies and gentlemen. Oisin O'Malley.
You've got so much more energy than me, man.
I took a nap for 40 minutes because I was in a lawyer's office all morning. And I came home, I made something to eat, and I went. And then I dosed myself.
Did you pound? You did. That's what I was wondering.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen. I'll pick up the slack. Don't you worry about a thing.
Your hair looks great.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's a good look. I like the little spike.
It's a little spiky.
Sharp.
It's getting a little long.
Yeah.
I put a little bit of product in there. I'll get hell for it. Hell in the handbasket.
Really?
Because of my moisturizing and my hair products and my
just taking care of yourself, basically. What a crime! What a terrible crime.
So I want to know if Glenn Parker's talking about. We're just talking a little bit about taste and how everybody's taste, because Mart says he tends to go for Aussie wine, and I was like, I had Grange at your birthday party. We had it on my deck, and I took a sip of it, and I said, "You guys go to town."
Yeah, you were.
I was just not feeling it. Like, I don't feel Unico. I said, but that's the great thing about our individual tastes, like watches and guitar, all the things we collect. How some people hate the Cubitus and how some people like it. I don't hate that watch. I don't hate it. I think it's I'm shocked that they did that.
There's a new one. There are a few new ones that are smaller, because one of the big complaints was that it was that watch head.
So big.
The watch head is very large and television looking, and now they've released a new one that's 40 mil instead of 41 or 42 or whatever the previous, and the dimensions look so much nicer. I saw it in Geneva. It was like, okay, I see where they're going now with that. I
never buy the first model of anything, kids.
Right.
Don't do it. How many iPhone 1s do you have in your house? I have 3 iPhone 1s on my shelf. They're like museum pieces. Those were such garbage.
You'll sell them someday.
I hope so. I've got 3 iPhone 1s for sale if anybody's interested.
Do it.
If I went through all of my crap, I'd probably find some good shit.
Yeah, you're probably sitting on a gold mine there in your house.
I found out, I was talking to Jimmy, my guitar player from Hitman, and we were joking about this console back in the day that we used to record on, and it's a Sansui 6-track. And I was like, hey man, I still have that. It's in my closet. He goes, oh my God, it's worth a fortune now. You need to sell it. I went, what?
Yeah, you never know what's going to actually, you could be sitting on stuff that's actually worth a lot of money. March drinking my first bottle of Barolo Red.
You have many more to come.
It's going to be very different, though, to Ozzy, because he's going to be used to Shiraz.
Shiraz. He's going to write Shiraz.
It's going to be very, very different kind of wine.
Shiraz and Matazi.
It's going to probably be very watery and,
thin, watery.
Thin in comparison to a big Shiraz.
Barolo is the Burgundy of Italy. It is just all roads lead to Barolo, my friend. Yeah. We were the big Bordeaux twins, and Dana and Emmett and Paul. We were just drinking up all the Barolo we could find, the Bordeaux, and then slowly but surely the Burgundy crept in, and we fell first, and then Emmett fell hard because he doesn't like the Bordeaux anymore. It's too big for him.
Right.
And Paul doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's like, sure, I'll drink it. Because I just think of I know that Australia's got some premier wines, of course, all the Penfold stuff.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of crappy wines there too. It's like South America's a lot of Georgia, even the crap Italian, like the cheap French. It's not bad. It's just not bad. I have 2 bottles tonight. I think I'm going to open up this one. These are moderately priced. This one's
Let's have a look.
$50. This is the Confidence de Pierre de Chine, and that is 2020. So that's 5 years. And then this one, which Tony turned me on to in the Paul's Wine Store, is the Saint Marguerite, but it's 2008. So I was like,
I would open that.
yeah, baby, that's what I'm gonna open. I'll
It's
open it up right now.
Medoc, is that?
Yeah,
It's
it's Minook. Yeah,
So it's been in there long enough. I think that's
spin
going to
in
be
the bottle.
softened. Yeah,
See,
I would go
here we
for.
go, Fergal. He
Oh,
goes,
did
what?
Fergal send you one? I have one too.
Oh yeah, he sent it to me. Yeah. Oh, you
Yeah, he
know,
sent me exactly the same one. It's
isn't it? Oh,
great.
that it's great and
It's
beautiful.
really, really
He
nice.
goes, do you not like it anymore? Last time you didn't open it with that. I was like, because I was in my studio and I was all by myself, and I didn't go to the kitchen, so it's now in the drawer in my studio where it shall remain. Isn't it?
It's a great opener. It's like my best opener I've ever had.
Oh man, it's a great one.
Yeah.
A terrific one. So I was dying to tell you that, and we can't bring it up on the show because
Okay.
it's Apple TV. But when we got back, when we made a little lunch today, we got back and we watched that new John Hamm show on Apple TV called My Friends and Neighbors.
Yeah,
It was
that's good.
fucking amazing. It was
Okay.
beautifully written, funny, dramatic. But then I'll give you the premise. This guy's like a fucking stock guy, and he's married. His wife divorces him, and he winds up like kind of getting the germ of an idea that he just should rip off all his friends because he gets fired. And all his friends are insanely rich. He goes into his friend's drawer and he picks up a Nautilus, and then he picks it up, and then they put it on the screen, and he does like a Patek Philippe commercial. He talks about the movement and what it's made out of, and it's
Oh
millimeters,
shit!
and
Really?
it was amazing.
Let me see if I can find it on my little app here.
Do you have an app that would do it so we don't get, because that's a
no, I'm not going to play any of it.
Yeah,
I'm just want to see
amazing.
that I can find the show.
Oh yeah,
I'm so behind on everything. I haven't watched The White Lotus yet. I'm so behind on everything.
I have to say that The White Lotus was disappointing. I thought this year
well,
the ending of it made me very not happy.
I heard about that. So it's called Friends and Neighbors.
Yeah, My Friends and Neighbors. And you know what? Best role John Hamm's had since Mad Men. It's the perfect role for him.
Well, thank God he finally got a decent role. He's been doing a lot of shit.
And he's hosting SNL this weekend.
Oh, nice.
Hasn't hosted since 2014.
That's going to be really funny. He's great. He's great on that show.
Great. Cheers, everybody. Do you have a drink ready to go?
I'm not drinking heavy. I'm just a little bit of whiskey here. But cheers, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ching, 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 ching. Cheers, Bashers.
I don't see it yet. I think I have Apple TV. I think I have an Apple TV subscription somewhere.
Yeah, it's there's 2 episodes available. I only watched the first one.
Okay, so it's brand new. It'll show up on my little illegal app here soon.
It had, what was the name of that show with? By the way, Olivia Munn is in this, and Amanda.
Oh, she's beautiful.
She's beautiful, and she's with was she with Aaron Rodgers now? She is, right? Weird.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think she had his baby because he's a super duper weirdo. He's an anti-vaxxer and a very strange political weirdo. Okay. And very, very, very famous American football, probably second to Tom Brady as far as famous guys, but he's nuts. She's in the show, and the opening monologue of the show is John Hamm in a bar, and he gets hit on by a woman, and he gives her all the reasons why she shouldn't do it. And it's like maybe 10 minutes of the sharpest, wittiest dialogue I've seen on a show in forever. And the way he does it, it's like that's where he's been all this time.
Wow.
He's been doing shit with Gal Gadot and all these other.
Yeah, there it is. John Mulaney she was with. BM said it. John Mulaney. Wasn't she married to John Mulaney?
Oh, she's with John Mulaney now. She was with Aaron Rodgers. Oh. That's right. She's with him now. She had his baby. I reversed it. That's right.
That's
John Mulaney.
Weird guy.
He needs blow. He's not funny. Hey, Travis, $5. Enjoy the wine, Dirk, sipping on some tequila on this beautiful California Friday. Thanks, nice. Travis. Look, he's got a new thumbnail. What tequila are you drinking, out of curiosity? Let me give you a big bang boom for that. We did the Mexico thing for Emmett's birthday, and they were drinking Clase Azul. I have to say, I guess because we were in Cancun, that I didn't see any of, like, if you go to Mexico City or one of the smaller places, you'd see all the real Mexican stuff that they drink. I saw all the same stuff that they give us here. And I was looking. I'm not a
No,
tequila
I think
drinker.
no, we've spoken about this at length with Emmett and with John up in San Francisco. That all the good stuff gets exported over to America in most cases. That the locals that it, first of all, they're in Cancun, so it's kind of America, right? It's like Miami or whatever.
Kind of.
You're not going to the deep tequila land of, you're not deep in the real Mexico, but
Except though it's the seat of Mayan civilization, which I didn't realize that,
mhm.
like, 10 minutes away from that Miami Beach looking strip is
Yeah,
all the Mayan temples and all that shit.
yeah.
I
I
didn't
mean,
realize that with
yeah. I'm just
Yucatan was wow.
should,
No, I know what you
yeah,
mean by that, but
yeah, yeah. What I mean
I
is
was
you're on
shocked.
a resort kind of thing, so
Oh,
you're
it's
going to be
totally
getting,
that.
yeah.
It's totally that.
So yeah, but yeah. Apparently, the Mexicans aren't exactly looking for the most expensive tequilas and mezcals. They're kind of happy to drink, anything, and all the really high tailored shit gets sent to the wealthy.
Yeah, I
At least
believe it.
that's what I heard.
Hey BM, thank you. You guys are the best. Cheers, boys. $4.99. Thanks, pal. That's very nice of you. Let's give you super chat gong too. Joe LaFar Cancun is budget. I mean, like, I didn't know what to expect from that thing. And I will say this, Joe. I know you've probably been there. You're a well-traveled guy. Um, hey man, I just want to make a comment. I'm gonna block somebody right now, and I don't usually do that. Do not ever use fucking swastikas on my show. Do not ever do that for
Yeah,
any reason under the
just kill
sun.
him. Do you want me to
Yeah,
do it?
I just did it.
Okay.
Do not ever do not ever put any kind of symbols of hatred and nastiness like that on my show. You have been warned.
Well, he's out now.
Well, he's out now, but that's just who the hell in their right mind? What is wrong with people?
Yeah.
Cancun is by. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I gotta tell you, I had it was such a shocking revelation to me because I've never been to a beachy, resorty kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was so. I've never been, and my life is a cacophony of bullshit. It was so relaxing, and we stayed at the JW
Yeah.
Marriott, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was just really gorgeous. And like, when I think about water, I think about, the Mediterranean or, Fano or what are the Adriatic. Like
Right.
that shit, I could not believe the seabirds and how clear the water was. That whole
Yeah.
area, I mean, like Miami and going to like Key West, I guess, and all the Caribbean islands. I get it. I totally get it now. I never did before. The light bulb went off. I'm not going to say I'm going to make a tremendous habit of it, but man, I would go back there again in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat,
Nice.
I would go back. It was a revelation,
Was
Sharon
it cheap?
says, no.
No. Okay.
No. That hotel was uber swank.
There was just the area there.
Yeah, it was. There's you could do the all-inclusive thing, which is gross. That just sounds like swingers to me. I know it's not, but it was. Listen, we've all stayed in some pretty swank hotels in our lives, and we love travel snobs and all that stuff. This was exceptionally beautiful hotel. It was probably one of the nicest next to the Kempinski, which was gorgeous. We had dinner there, and
Nice.
that was beautiful. That looked a little bit like, Saul and Sharon's Miami Beach. That's what it looked like. It was very glitzy in 1980s, the smoked mirrors and the crystals. It felt a little bit like Ida goes there to just forget about it all. It just felt very New York. Let's Saul, I need a vacation. Let's go to Kempinski. It just felt like that.
Right.
Whereas the JW Marriott felt very Ritz-Carlton-y, very Four Seasons. It was very I guess it's the Marriott, the best of the Marriott world. But it was really, really, really nice. I really liked it a lot. Eddie says the guy with the swastika I'm speaking to. Yeah, I mean, what the hell is that? It's just, who does that? I mean, you actually had to go and make that thing. I mean, it's not beyond a troll. You're a very, very bad person. Roar the Tiger, roar the Tiger, $10. Did you see Ferris Bueller's Day? Wow, mind blown today. Paul made a Ferris Bueller reference today. The teacher was Ben Stein. Yes,
Stein.
he
Yeah.
was a real economist with Nixon. He asked the class what triggered the Great Depression, and he answered tariff. Yeah, well, fear.
Yeah, there's a
I
whole
watched a
thing about
show the
tariffs.
other day. It was amazing. I agree. And I've talked to all my friends about it. It's all fear. What happened? The Great Depression was all based
Well,
on.
no, but it's yeah, and the scene he's referring to is the boring classroom scene
Sure.
where they're all falling asleep, and and
Mhm.
she's bursting a bubble of gum, bored, staring at him. Nobody's listening to him at all, and he's like, anyone, it had a positive, negative, anyone, negative effect on the economy. That whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, he's calling out the class names to see if everybody's present, and he's like Bueller, Bueller.
I haven't seen that in a dog's age.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Thank you, Roar the Tiger. Let me give you a big.
I was quoting. Do your big bang.
Yeah. That's $10. That's very nice. That's a huge super chat. Speak.
I found myself heavily into a Unforgiven quote on my show tonight. I don't know how the fuck.
The movie, The Unforgiven?
Yeah, The Unforgiven.
I fell asleep during that movie. I never finished it. Is it great?
The last scene is the best part.
Shit.
You should go back and watch it.
I should.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So don't let me ruin your. And I'm not. I don't worry about spoilers. Don't worry about me.
No. It's just I just wound up quoting the weirdest part of it. Because me, I won't be quoting I won't be doing Zed's dead, baby, Zed's dead when I quote Pulp Fiction. I'll quote some other bizarre, weird bit of it.
Uh-huh.
And I wound up in the scene where she's talking with the free ones. The men are taking advances on the payment. Advances on the payment. Yeah, they've been giving them free ones because he's talking about their prostitutes, in a brothel.
Sure.
They've been giving some of the guys free ones. Free ones. And then she goes, would you like a free one? She's all cut up. She's one of the victims of that assault, and she's got scars, and she's kind of covering her face a bit. Would you like a free one? And he goes, I guess not. And she goes, I don't mean with me. I'm sure one of the girls can give you a free. That's all I meant. And it's heartbreaking. And he goes, I didn't mean that on account of me not wanting a free one. That on accounts of you being all cut up and all. You're not ugly like me. It's a really great scene. And then and then he goes, you're a beautiful lady, and if I were to want a free one, there's a little pause in his acting that's really, really good. A free one, it would be with you and not with them other ladies. It's a really heartbreaking scene. It's beautifully written, but the free ones references, you should look it up. It's really good. Anyway,
I'll watch it. Listen, we all know though, I've got a bunch of, for every great MGM musical you've never seen that your mother has.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pop culture movies that I've been trying to catch up on. I've caught up on a bunch of them, but I feel like I fell asleep during that, and I love Dances with Wolves, and I love The Postman. I even
the scene that everyone loves is who's the owner of this shithole? You, fat man, speak up. And then this guy goes, I'm the owner of this establishment. I bought it for $1,000. And then he goes, you other guys, you better clear away. You better move away. They all move away. And he just shoots him. And recently deceased Gene Hackman goes, well, you were a coward, sir. You shot down an unarmed man. And he goes, well, he should have armed himself if he's going to decorate his establishment with my friend. Because Morgan Freeman is lying dead out front.
Sure.
I'm kind of giving it away here, but you said you don't care.
No, I don't care about spoilers.
It's a really good
I can still watch a film even though you told me. It's fine.
You be Billy Money who killed women and children. He goes, yeah, I killed women and children. I killed about everything that walks or crawls at one time or another. And I'm here to kill you for what you did to Ned. It's a really good.
What you did to Ned.
Ned is his friend, is Morgan Freeman. It's a really powerful, and you see, here's the crux of that whole movie, and you'll enjoy it anyway. the whole time you think this guy is kind of he's a soft, lonely kind of spirit.
Uh-huh.
And you don't know that he's actually got a really dark past, and he doesn't drink anymore. He stays away from the liquor, and and they're out to do a bounty thing of these guys who attack these women and cut them up and so on, and they're being paid by the prostitutes. The prostitutes have put together money to pay these guys to go find the culprits and kill them, and you don't know. It's like that scene with the free ones. He goes, "You ain't ugly like me," and you kind of don't know what he means yet. But by the end of the movie, when Gene Hackman's character kills his friend Ned, then he picks up the bottle and he starts drinking. And man, oh man, it's true cowboy movie Western gold. It's beautiful.
God, I'm so excited to watch this film now.
Yeah.
I remember when it first, whenever I didn't go to a theater to see it. But I remember I fell asleep, and I didn't think it was boring or anything. I just fell asleep and I never finished it, and I know I should.
There's a scene in the film with, what's the one with Tom Cruise and Jamie Lee Foxx? Is that his name?
Collateral.
Collateral, thank you. Where there's these goons, these guys in an alleyway, and they steal his briefcase.
Yeah.
Come after just assassinating some drug guy or whatever.
Right.
Then they don't have no idea how dangerous the guy is who owns the suitcase. And, he fucking shoots them straight away, no problem. And then as he's walking away, one of the guys is slightly moving. And as he's walking away with the briefcase, he just shoots him straight down on the ground. That's a cheap, not very well done copy of something that happens in the scene in Unforgiven. And it's way colder. It's so cold.
Collateral, I wanted to love that movie more than I did because it had good bones. Mm-hmm. And I watched it because I watch all the Tom Cruise movies. Don't ask me why. And I think that Jamie Foxx is an incredible... Jamie Foxx is fucking so talented, that guy. He can do... What can that guy not do? He's Ray Charles. He's a guitar player, piano player, a singer. He's amazing. And
he does a good Tronald Dump impersonation as well. That's pretty good.
Does he?
He does. I've seen him on some podcasts and shit, like having a laugh. He's a super talented guy, and
he's so talented.
Cruise is great in it.
Cruise is great in that movie.
He's really good in that film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, Tom Cruise is very
Tom Cruise's greatest role he ever had.
I know what you're gonna say.
Magnolia.
I hated that movie. Maybe I need to rewatch
That's his
it.
best role
ever. Tom Cruise
release the cock and tame the cunt.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Maybe what could be a clue. Maybe it just took me a little while to warm up to P.T. Anderson. Now I think, of course, he's a genius because I've loved so many of his films. Maybe it's a little bit of that. Like I didn't like No Country for Old Men either. I just thought that movie, there's some scenes in that are incredible, but I don't know. That's what makes the world go round. But Tom Cruise, he's been so good in so many things, but he's like, what's that movie, The Edge of Tomorrow? I think that's his best movie ever.
Oh my God, that film was so good.
That film, and I've been trying, because Paul hates Tom Cruise, won't watch him, refuses to watch him. He goes, he's not an actor, he's a movie star, and he's a sucky one. He just hates him.
I don't know if he's a sucky movie star, but...
No, I don't think he is. I like him. I'm a fan.
If you don't believe he's an actor, then you haven't seen Magnolia, because he's pretty dynamic in that film.
Yeah.
I mean,
he plays like a kind of a preacher.
He keeps choosing these cool ass roles where he just, remains calm. So he doesn't pick dynamic roles. Other people pick dynamic roles for him, like P.T. Anderson.
Sure.
When you see him in that role, he's in a very odd role that you wouldn't expect.
Well, that's what he needs to do in order for the Oscar road. Does that matter anymore? It does to somebody probably like him, or doesn't. But he was nominated for Born on the 4th of July, which is Oliver Stone, and that movie.
Oh yeah, that was good.
It was good, and he was nominated for Magnolia. But for the most part, Tom Cruise is the biggest movie star in the world and has been for 30 years.
Yeah.
He is the biggest movie star in the world. He's bigger than Leo. He's bigger than anybody who comes to. He's still Tom freaking Cruise. He has headed up. How many franchises has that guy been a part of? That's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But he gets no love when it comes to the thespian world and the accolade world. And
Right.
he had that. Remember years ago, he had that big fight with Sumner Redstone from Paramount, and he left Paramount after his whole career was there, and he was a, associate producer on everything. And then he went out and made a bunch of really small films like Collateral and a bunch of stuff that proved his worth. And then, of course, Sumner Redstone died, and he's back, and he's the king of Paramount. He's an unkillable movie star, but he's got the goods. Like people like Val Kilmer was another one. He had a reputation for being a great actor without getting any of the accolades. Now, everyone who ever talks about Val Kilmer, who we just lost, says that he's one of the greatest actors that they've ever seen. But he was difficult and a pain in the ass and all that stuff. So, I mean, what is Tom Cruise's road to an Oscar in his 60s now is to do a small film, because now he just does big films. He doesn't make the little films anymore.
Yeah.
What's the last thing he did? Tropic Thunder. That it was like a little cameo, and it was brilliant. Of course, it was brilliant. Remember when he did that guy? It was amazing.
Yeah, he's funny in it, yeah.
And he's not afraid to make fun of Minority Report. You know what? Here, Andy Dufresne says Minority Report. You know what the problem was? Minority Report's great. We're Spielberg files and all that shit. It was a great movie. He was Steven Spielberg.
Gandolfini.
Yeah, I mean, my God.
My favorite of his roles was Killing Them Softly. It was amazing.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
He was just such a fuck up.
He was such a fuck up. I forget the name of the movie he did with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I think it might have been his last film.
Oh, that was a little rom-com.
It was.
Yeah, that was a cute
movie. My God! First of all, how is it that big bloated Brutus of a man, you just want to hold him for hours?
He's a big teddy bear.
He's a big teddy bear, and like I would marry James Gandolfini. I love him. I absolutely love him.
He's just likable.
He's just so likable, and the way people speak about Jimmy Gandolfini in the reality sense, the man they knew on the side. It's hushed tones. He was the greatest guy. He was the champion of other actors. All those Sopranos people, they go, Jimmy Gandolfini went to the producers, went to this studio and said, listen.
Enough said. That's a DG. Enough
said. It was so good.
It was a very cute rom-com.
It was, definitely. And he was so sweet in it. And like, that's Tony Soprano. My God. Range, my friends.
Range. Well, I saw him on Broadway many, many years ago.
Me too.
I saw him in was it Savages or
you saw him in a lead role.
No, it wasn't a lead. Who's the guy from Dumb and Dumber, the other actor?
Jeff Daniels
was in it as well. And there were other notable Hollywood actors, and Gandolfini acted everyone off the stage.
Yeah.
He's just a natural actor. He's just very natural. And you just believe him so much. And sometimes that can happen at theater, because they have to project. And a lot of these film actors who are used to doing film they don't really have the chops for stage, because it's a different kind of delivery.
Total different thing.
And Gandolfini was just great. And he had everybody laughing. His delivery, just his timing was so fluid. And I remember going, wow, because I never watched The Sopranos. And so still I've watched a couple of episodes with the
all I can say is
Staten Island.
Lucky you. That really? one day.
Oh, that I'll get to watch it.
One day you'll get to watch that and see that ensemble, because it's not just
next time I get the flu or something, or I'm bedridden, I'm stuck, and I've just got time to binge some show from start to finish. I'll try.
It'll destroy you.
Yeah.
And it's not just him. Edie Falco, Lorraine Bracco, Michael Imperioli, Drea Di Matteo. Yeah. The ensemble that he put together for that show, it's shocking what goes on there. Who's that gorgeous Italian-American actress? I forget off the top of my head. She had a very short arc where she's his lover on the show, and she's a psycho bitch.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I've seen clips.
Yeah. The performances that guy David Chase got out of people is just shocking. Now, many years ago, I've said on the show many times, but mentioned that I saw Streetcar with Alec Baldwin and Jessica Lange, and
Oh
we were in
wow.
the front row, and Alec Baldwin fell on me, Stella, and then fell on me because the first row was on the stage, because Circle in the Square, that particular staging in New York, is a stage and
Oh,
then
you're
just
sitting right.
bleachers.
You've
Yeah.
courtside seats.
Yes, courtside seats. He fell
Yeah.
on me. But the
Right.
role of Mitch for that performance was James Gandolfini, and I didn't know who he was then. And that's, the Eli
Oh my
Wallach
God.
role. That's a
Yeah.
pivotal role. The best friend,
Right.
the understanding guy, the Tennessee Williams, the way that he features people in his writing. And I remember going to Paul, I was like, who the fuck? That guy was amazing. Because Jessica Lange, no one could hear. Because it was her first Broadway show, and she's in a movie. She's now
Different.
a very decorated stage actor, but
Yeah.
you couldn't hear a word she said.
Oh
Nothing.
God. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it was bad. But and she wasn't terrible. She was just not loud enough, because you have to project in a Broadway scenario. Yeah. I think I missed one over here. I did. Joe LaFaro for The Unforgiven. Joe LaFaro for that. I'm definitely going to watch, because I know it's a great film, and that guy's he's made some terrific films over the years. And,
It's a slow movie. It's
okay.
not,
Dances with Wolves was slow, right?
I don't mind a slow movie. That's okay.
No.
I'm just saying, like, it's nothing bombastic about it. Just enjoy it. I don't want to speak it up too much, because when you talk up any movie, it's always a slight disappointment, no matter what.
I'm an old queen. I can sit through slow moving, burning dramas. No problem.
Okay.
Actually, it's gotten to the point now where movies and like music and all those other things, and I'm turning into Clint Eastwood. Get off my lawn with all the CGI. It gets so boring after a while.
Yeah.
You just some like what was it that I just said? Oh, Conclave.
Yeah.
I came away from that film thinking, oh wow, somebody made a movie for me. It was a movie with actors acting.
Right.
Sure, there was some CGI and technology, but it was not gratuitous, nor was it noticeable by the watcher, by the viewer, because it was all done, so seamlessly without
Well,
any.
you're a big fan of The American with George Clooney, which is a very slow movie. That's a very slow and subtle movie. So there's nothing wrong with slow movies. That's okay.
No.
Even Dune Part 1 I found to be quite slow, and I didn't mind. I didn't mind that. I found it to be a kind of, not too eventful. And I kind of didn't care, because I just liked immersing myself, turning off the lights here and turning up the volume here, watching it on the big screen. It was just like in the world of Dune. I was like, this is cool. I don't care.
I'd like to watch it. I haven't seen it yet. I'd like to see it.
It's quite a spectacle visually.
I'm sure it is. I read the books, when I was a kid. I've never seen any of I've never seen any of the Lord of the Rings films. I read the books and I loved them as a kid.
I'm not a fan of those films.
Yeah, it's
you know that
the frame. I know, and
it's
going to be the same thing with me. I think I'd like to watch the Harry Potter films, as I heard that they're terrifically made films. I'd like to see them. I don't know anything about, other than he's a magician in a school for what are they, warlocks, or I don't really know what they do. I don't really know. I mean, I missed the boat on that. I bought some of the books for my nieces and nephews at the time, because they were ripe for that. But those kind of movies, when they have too much stuff. But Denis Villeneuve, is that how you say it? Denis Villeneuve? Is that the correct pronunciation?
Villeneuve.
That guy, he's a visionary. So everything I've seen that guy makes is extremely interesting.
Yeah.
So, he's the next crop of, I heard from somebody I know very, very, very well, that is very connected, told me that Christopher Nolan has already signed on to do the new Bond film for Amazon.
That rumor has been going around.
They told me, oh yeah, he's been on since they acquired it. And I said, you're kidding me. And they said that he's been clashing with Jeff Bezos so much over where they want to go with it. And he said, you hired me for what reason? He said, this guy's been in the room with them. And because
Bezos?
He's been in the room with Nolan, and
oh God, get him out.
And he said that it's on the precipice of him leaving, because it just doesn't make any sense, because he'd probably do a great job with doing Bond.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he'd be amazing at it. You know,
Yeah.
Joe LaFar says I would enjoy Harry Potter. Yeah, I guess I would. You know, it all depends. You know. Okay, so did you hear about this? Because this is true. This is from what I'm told that Christopher Nolan was directing Pierce Brosnan in a Bond film apparently, and Pierce Brosnan's been very like ha 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 about it because look at the way that guy looks now. He's so fuck that guy's like
He's all over my Instagram feed and stuff because he was
yeah
in New York for some new movie he's in,
yeah
and he looks fucking stone cold and like a killer.
he's a murderer.
He looks great.
Apparently,
He
there's some
still looks sharp
truth
as
to
fuck.
this. You know, I just think who's the bigger talent, Chris Nolan or Jonathan Nolan? Well, Jonathan Nolan's a writer, right?
He's a writer.
I mean, listen, don't get me wrong, Jim. I'm not the biggest Chris Nolan fan out there. I've disliked a lot of movies he made. I hated Oppenheimer. I thought it sucked. I think they should have got like the greatest editor in the world to chop the shit out of that movie because it was so boring.
Yeah, I have not. I usually want to watch a Chris Nolan film a second time immediately, and I didn't. There's footage of that helicopter crashing in the Hudson.
Oh no, don't do it. It's so bad. We talked about that at the top of the show. Oh my god.
What happened?
Well, it looks so far as if the back rotor became dislodged and took out the main blade.
And what was it? Was it one of those taxis to JFK? I hope not.
It was a small mom and pop sightseeing, still like New York experience kind of scenario.
Oh,
I mean, an entire family got wiped out. 3 little kids.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's
oh my God, this footage is horrific.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh, no.
It just looks like an object.
There's tons of footage. Of course, there is. It's New York.
It's New York.
The cameras out constantly. Oh, yeah. Sweet God.
Kyle D. The Craig ones were the most cinematic they will ever get anymore is not what the Bond movies are supposed to be. I think you're preaching to the choir, and I think that when they got Sam Mendes in there, that they thought he was going to bring a certain gravitas. And while the numbers showed that he did, he made 2 of the worst Bond films ever, and Skyfall is the worst Bond film ever. And or no, Die Another Day is sorry, I take that back because that's just a bad movie. But you want to see the most beautiful cinematic film? I hate to say it, man. People think I'm nuts. Quantum of Solace. Mark Forster. The way that film is shot is mesmerizing. Shot on film, too. And then Skyfall was the first digital. So far, I think the only digital movie. Anyway, the Craig movies were great. Listen, that's the end of that era. It's over. Amazon's got it. If anything happens after this, we'll be lucky. Because, once the conglomerates, like I said, there's going to be
one of the big propellers. Sorry, it looks like one of the large propellers came away.
Oh,
on the top, that's big. It's like flying in the opposite direction. How does that happen? Yet another aviation disaster in the U.S. My God.
I mean, this beautiful. Did you see this family? They're gorgeous. This beautiful family, super handsome dad, beautiful wife, and the most perfect kids. And
are they from Texas or Colorado?
Spain.
Oh, they're Spanish.
He was a Siemens executive, and he was here for a conference, and he brought his family to show them New York City.
Ah, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. Kyle, Quantum is amazing, but people hate it. I don't know why. Me neither. I don't know why. I think first of all, it's a super taut film. It's the shortest Bond film ever. You need to view it as part. It's exactly what you have to do. Because that movie is it's a blunt object, just like James Bond is supposed to be in the novels. It is so succinct, and there's none of this. There's very little of the quips and all that shit. But what they have, and Olga Kurylenko, I mean, why was she not an instant superstar after that movie? First of all, she's funny and she's gorgeous. I don't get it. Do you like did you like her?
Which movie?
Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of Solace. No, the
That's
one
where
I liked out of all of those was Casino
Casino's
Royale.
the best.
That's the one.
It's the best Bond film ever made. Quantum was the follow up, and that's where he goes down to South America because Dominic Green. It's not about gold. It's not about lasers. It's about water. He's getting a monopoly on the underground, like cisterns, and he's going to cut off all the water to all the South American people. He's going to hold water hostage. And I mean, it's a very real thing. It's not, some fantastical science fiction thing. It's like someone, and people do, cut off natural resources for people. Anyway, that was the movie. If you haven't, if you need a refresh, it's really short. It's the quickest Bond movie ever, and it is so beautifully made. Anyway, Mart says Mobland. I've been watching it. I'm up to episode 2. Because they only give it to you in dribs and drabs. So far, so. Geez, God, Helen Mirren doing the Irish thing is just not really digestible. Not. I don't like her anymore as a person, anyway, but for other reasons. But
by the way, my favorite woman in Casino, because there's so many beautiful women in Casino Royale. My favorite one, I won't play it. I'll just show you a screenshot. Her name is Christina Cole.
Okay.
I'll turn down the volume as well.
Oh yeah, the girl at the desk.
At the desk.
I'm afraid I dented his.
Where
his car.
the hell did they find that?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I mean, if I could draw a picture of Oisin's dream girl, there she is. I mean,
there it is.
I mean, my God. I mean, she goes. You probably don't want to mention that. That he tapped his car, his Aston Martin, which he wins later in a poker game. That's a great scene. Really great. It's good. And of course, now here's an interesting thing.
And he's wearing like a nice linen.
Listen.
What is that shirt?
Yeah, that's the shirt you want to be wearing in the
That's the shirt I want for this summer.
Everything he wears in this movie. I mean, forget about the scene in the shower with the Turnbull and Nasser shirt that it's so diaphanous that the second it hits the water, it becomes invisible, and all you see is his musculature. I mean, it's the clothes in that movie. There are dinner jackets, and then there are dinner jackets. This one is the latter. That's a great line.
And there's the next. She's beautiful. Oh yeah, she's stunning.
She's a Mediterranean beauty, this chick.
Yeah, it's a different. I like the way they have the different flavors of beauty.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of eye candy, and it wakes me up.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, that's just incredible. When Kyle says that the brunette on the beach with the cult, there she is. Yeah, she's ridiculous. But that's a lot of that's a Mediterranean woman. That's a lot of women. You have to become a super cuck for that, my friend, because those women will control your lives. You don't dance with the devil, because once you've been with those Mediterranean women are very controlling, and you have to just you'll do whatever they say.
Yeah, here she is. That's the scene with the
look at that shirt. Jesus
that's a beautiful shirt too. I mean, everything looks good in that motherfucker.
Well, if when you're ripped to shreds like Daniel Craig is. And he said he was too big. He slimmed down by 20 pounds of muscle. Look at that. Oh, God, in heaven's name.
Sweet
Lord. That's just...
Yeah.
Yeah. She's outrageous. And she winds up dead like everybody else. Yeah. I mean, that's a Mediterranean goddess.
That's Mediterranean.
Yeah. That's what that is. Just look at her eyes. They're huge.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, she's a beautiful lady. Incredible.
We like that, sure.
Sure. Now, Roar the Tiger, this is very interesting. Paul hates Eva Green. He thinks she's not attractive, and he thinks she's a shitty actress. He doesn't get her at all. Now, I love Eva Green, and I don't get it. I think she's a very singular, unique beauty, and I like her a lot. But Paul says she's horrible. He just doesn't get her at all. I don't know why. I think her eyes are very, very telling. She tells stories with her eyes. Like she looks like a silent film actress, like a Gloria Swanson or a Garbo. Her eyes are so striking. This is a great scene, though. They're drinking Angelus.
Yeah, the most scene of any movie in the watch fanatics world. Yeah, they're having Chateau Angelus.
Yeah, they're drinking Angelus. Not bad. Beautiful watch, Rolex. No, Omega. It's a product placement, but fuck it, we'll take it, right?
We'll take it.
I don't care. Omega, right? Yeah, Eva Green and Dark Shadows. I didn't hate Dark Shadows. People hated that movie. When Johnny Depp plays creatures, he's great at it. Johnny Depp cannot play, and he will never play another normal mortal
A
human being. He
regular
can't do it.
guy. No, he's not
Can't
very
do it.
good.
Was he
Yeah.
going to play Cy, the guy in accounting? Or he can't do that anymore. He's just too weird. And I just saw a picture of him drinking rum in the Caribbean, and he looked like the Pirates of the Caribbean. He's taken on that thing, and he's just rolling
But
with it.
he's thickened out a lot because the
Oh,
vino,
wow,
right? The
man.
vino.
What was it? What was it? How much a month was he spending on Bordeaux?
30 grand a month, remember?
30
On
grand
wine.
a month
Yeah.
on Bordeaux.
That's
And
impressive.
Sheen and I were sitting around trying to tally up what that 30 grand went to. We are calculating the
2
bottles per
bottles.
day. But
3
we're like,
bottles of Petrus.
it's got to be Petrus, because what the hell else is it if it's Bordeaux?
Maybe he's a Burgundy guy. Who fucking knows?
No, they said Bordeaux.
They said Bordeaux. Wow.
They did. Bordeaux is his thing. And he's got a couple of years. How old is Johnny Depp? 65-ish nowadays? Probably.
No
You'd
clue.
think he'd be onto the he'd be drinking the DRC by now. Domini Romani Conti or Latache. When you get older, the ink just doesn't work anymore, man.
Yeah.
Emmett is completely divorced from the Bordeaux. He's drinking Barolo, he's drinking Burgundy. He just can't do it anymore. He says it's just too damn thick. And I get it. I mean, Barolo, God, man. Barolo is just a magical thing. Once you get into that, man, congratulations, you deserve it, and you're going to love it. Who's Caterina Murino? Caterina Murino. Is that her name? Oh, that's the beautiful girl on the beach. Forgive me for not knowing that.
Oh, that's her?
Yeah.
She Italian?
I guess she is with Caterina Murino.
Yeah.
I would imagine she ain't Polish.
She's Italian.
Yeah.
Huh.
Did you look her up?
Yeah. She's Italian.
What age is she?
She's 47.
She's 47 now.
Now. In that film, she was
2006.
Right. So she was 27, 28.
Wow. And she looks 40. She looks like a ripe woman. She does not look like a ingenue. No. That's the Mediterranean. They are women. They are girls, and then they are women instantly. Right. That's a credible thing. I mean, I'm not in that game, but I'm a keen observer and a fan of the beauty of the feminine species for sure.
Certainly.
I'm amazed by it, and it's the most beautiful art and form that there is that God created. There's no doubt.
So what's the most beautiful Bond girl of all time? Is it Barbara Bach or who is it?
Oh, that's so oh God. I mean, who's the most beautiful Bond girl? You know who was a beautiful Bond girl? And she's the worst actress in the whole wide world, Tanya Roberts.
What was she in?
She was in like For Your Eyes Only or one of those Roger Moore where it was creepy how old he was and she was so young. But,
that was normal. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Remember her?
She
was gorgeous.
Oh,
she was she was the last angel on Charlie's Angels. When Farrah left and then Jacqueline Smith left and Kate Jackson, she was the last Charlie's Angel. And then she got the Bond movie. And not only that beautiful face and those eyes, but a crazy figure too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you have great shots of her? Yeah, that's her. Yeah, she's a beautiful girl. She's in there. She's in the pantheon. She's not a natural blonde, by the way, as far as I know. She was always a brunette for most of her career. And especially when you have eyes that color and you have darker hair, she's perfect.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, she's perfect. Yeah. I mean, find a flaw on that particular woman. I mean, that doesn't really. And she has a crazy figure, just absolutely gorgeous. Is this like a website for Bond girls?
I mean, come on, the internet is flooded with them.
Well,
let's
go through the Bond girls. Let's do Rate a Bond Girl. Let's do it. How fun. Ready, Bashers? Let's do it. Ursula Andress, Travis says, of course. But you know what? The problem with today's modern aesthetic is that, these are fuller figured gals, which was very the norm back in the day. Guys look at it and go, wow, that chick's fat. They think Marilyn Monroe is fat. Yeah, you would be so lucky, my dears.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because you're looking at Ariana Grande, who's like a toothpick. There's got to be a website like with, oh, look at that Xenia on the top. Remember that? Oh, Jesus, Honey Rider. I mean, Halle Berry is a pretty terrible actress for the most part. She lucked out because of Monsters Ball. She's pretty much a terrible actress. She's beautiful, yes. Oh, look at that. God, Barbara Bach. Jesus Christ. Yeah, she also looks like a
That's
great Russian agent, though. Perfect for cold.
yeah,
I make the sex with you and then inject you with the poison. No problem.
right.
Ringo Starr's wife. Lucky
That's
Ringo.
right. Lucky Ringo. I forgot that.
Amazing.
What's her name? Zen. This. Is that the actress's name?
Famke Janssen. That's
Famke
Famke
Jensen.
Janssen. Yeah, remember
Yeah,
her?
yeah.
Yeah, Famke Janssen. She was, yeah. Do you know? You know what I found out the other day? Who is the worst Bond girl of all time is Denise Richards. Of course, she was like Dr. Christmas Snow, or whatever the fuck she was.
Uh
And
huh.
I just found out that she's got an OnlyFans. No judgments,
She
mind
has
you.
an OnlyFans
She's
now.
got an OnlyFans, and
Okay.
her daughter has one, and they've done collabs. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, but how? I mean, how explicit is it?
Well, I
Though?
don't know because I'm not watching their OnlyFans. I'm not even out of curiosity, but see
Brit
Xenia on the
Eklund.
top. Britt Eklund, of course, yeah. That was Britt Eklund was married to Keith Richards.
Oh wow.
I mean, in her day. I mean, listen, she's a much older lady now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's just like, it's like watching, listen, Brigitte Bardot is still alive, isn't she?
And she's horrific looking.
But she's 95 years
She's
old.
had all the wine. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She's old.
but you know what she didn't have? All the plastic surgery.
Looks like she was with Rod Stewart as well.
Oh yeah, she got
I
tossed.
want to
Eric
find her
Clapton
in.
had her, and yeah,
Oh,
Peter
I like that.
Sellers had her. She was married to Peter Sellers. That must have
Sweet
been
God.
difficult, you know.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Me likey. Sorry. Why isn't that sharing
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, of
a
course.
window? Window. Here we are. Yes.
Brigitte Bardot is 90 years old. Can I just? Yeah,
There's
that's
Britt
beautiful.
Eklund.
Okay, that's beautiful. Ready? You want to see really beautiful though?
Yeah.
How about that?
Bordeaux is just insane.
I mean, that's a horse of a different color. I mean, Jesus Christ, she's.
It's very European, though, isn't it? It's very French.
Do you think so though? Do
Yeah,
you
there's
think
something
like
about the lips and the.
Oh my
It's very
God.
French, yeah.
I'm not even straight, and oh my God, marry me. My God, she's a goddess. Look at that. Look at
Yeah.
her eyebrows. The shape of her eyes, her lips. She's so sensual. Such a beautiful. I mean, listen. I know you guys go for different things. You're boob man and ass man and all that stuff, but I look at that and I go like, you know how many gay dudes have married fucking beautiful women just because they're like obsessed with them?
Let me dress you.
Let me dress you, or let me just worship at your temple. But Ursula Andress is 89. Travis, I mean, here's the thing about Ursula Andress: she was always a very, very big woman. She's a sturdy lady. So I don't know if you want to pull her up, but she's. You want me to pull her up?
No, I'll do it. You go ahead.
Yeah.
Keep talking so I can.
Yeah. Ursula Andress and even Honor Blackman, Pussy Galore. What's your name? I'm Pussy Galore. I must be dreaming. She was a beautiful woman, but they're sturdier women. Today's aesthetic just doesn't really understand that kind of woman, and that's ridiculous. That's all the waif. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, well, she's an old lady now. It's not fair. Time marches on. So what can you do? You can't be
Yeah, what can
beautiful
you do?
forever.
She's a little bit Melania, isn't she?
She's a little. Well, yes, of course she is. Yeah, she has the microfilm for sure. She has the microfilm. Yeah, I mean, listen, look at that on the bottom. Jesus Christ.
This.
Oh, that's Tanya Roberts, right?
Tanya
Jesus
Roberts,
Christ.
yeah. Wow.
She
Smoky
just died.
bedroom look in her eye.
Tanya Roberts died last year.
Oh, yeah?
She was not very else. She had something terrible happen. Who is that with? Who's she with there? Is that Bond? Is that no?
Yeah, it's with.
Oh, that's him. Wow, he looks pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I think what movie was that? For Your Eyes Only or whatever. Not quite sure, but
View
she.
View to a Kill.
Oh, View to a Kill, of course. You like that
Mm.
tune? You like Duran Duran, right?
Sure, sure. Yeah.
They're a fun band.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, look at she's so young and beautiful there. And he was just
That's
that's her
beautiful.
grandfather.
That was normalized back then.
Oh my god, that is just disgrace. Look at her eyes though, my lord. I mean, they're limpid pools of
Yeah.
glacial ice. My god. I
You
mean,
see, this is why the gays marry the beautiful women. You have limpid pools of glacial ice. Say it again.
that's why we get them and you don't, because you're like,
They'll go perfectly with
make fuck.
they'll go perfectly with this scarf. Try it on. Those
Limpid
earrings aren't
pools.
you, honey. Take those off. They're killing it. They're killing it.
That's so funny. Limpid pools of glacial ice.
Yeah, you just came out with it, dude. You're laughing at yourself.
I guess so,
You
because you
limpid
made fun
pools
of
of
it and it sounds ridiculous.
Has anyone ever told you you have limpid pools of glacial ice? Can I buy you a drink?
Yeah. No, marry me, sir. But I'm a homosexual. I don't care. You're going to make me feel good as a woman. Well, that's the thing about gay men and what we do for womenkind. We see them for who they are and not the sexual objects that we desire.
Right.
You know? And the compliments are easy because, there's no skin in the game.
Uh-huh.
Other than the friendship, which is very important to gay men. Gay men
Sure.
without a great woman is not a man. Because and like I'm certainly not the stereotype of that because I'm not in that game at all. But like the women in my life are extremely important to me. Very important to me, and it helps.
Here's Katerina Marino. Now.
Oh wow, she looks different.
Yeah. She's obviously a legend here in Italy. They must have been so proud.
Oh, good for her though. Oh, she looks.
What color
great.
eyes are they? They're not.
I mean that no, they're not brown.
That's a strange.
I mean, this is that Mediterranean gold green weirdness thing.
Yeah,
a lot of Barcelonans get them. You ever see those people from Barcelona with the gold eyes? They're like cats.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Where's my list of Bond girls? I have to look it up again.
Daniel's like, I'm not in that game. Second time. I said it twice. I was in that game, though, for a while. And it wasn't bad. I didn't have a problem with it. Some guys do. I did not.
Here's a classic. Sylvia Trench.
Oh, Sylvia Trench, of course. This is, listen.
One of the first, right?
Yeah, the first, right?
The first. Look at there. She's in the man's shirt.
I mean, is there anything sexier than a woman in a man's dress shirt? No. Yeah, she's outrageous. Well, Ursula Andress was the first, obviously. But yeah. Listen, nowadays people would think she looks 40, right? She was probably 22 when she did that.
Yeah. If she was walking up the street here, I would say she's 40. Yeah. 41.
Yeah, you would, because, but when we do watch Fashion Police, I always talk about Wet Dog and how women don't get their hair done anymore, and like in those days, no one walked out of the house without their hair done. They had their hair done, and they were these ornate ringlets or these updos or whatever they were doing. Now, are you a big fan of Diana Rigg?
Let me see.
Now, she was in On Your Majesty's Secret Service, and she was, of course, Tracy, and she married Bond and was instantly killed.
Yes. So cute.
I mean, just...
So cute.
So the other night, Paul and I were watching an old movie, and it was called something Millions, Easy Millions, I forget, but it was Maggie Smith and Peter Ustinov. She was the most delicate, beautiful creature in 1966. Oh my God, was she beautiful? Maggie Smith, Dame Maggie Smith, from Downton Abbey. People don't realize she was a sex symbol back there. Oh shit, sorry, you scared the crap out of me. What was the name of that movie we watched with Diana Rigg? Hot Millions. It was terrific. Do you know what I did? I broke the other glass, Paul. I was polishing it and I broke it. I broke one of my Riedels tonight.
Oh shit!
I
Well, it
know.
happens, man.
I know. And I've had them for since they call him Scotty Love. Nathaniel Hannon, $20 super
Wow,
sticker. Thank you.
nice.
Thank you very much. We need the super chats, guys. We're like, this is the
Yeah,
big night. This is the big night, and I'm set. January and February and March have been bad, bad, bad for bashers.
really.
I don't know what else. No, God, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm trying to. I did a new show. Did you catch any of Meet the Bashers?
You had a guest on, did
I
you?
had two guests. You want to see my intro for it? Anyway, let me give you a Big Ben
Yeah, let's
Boom
see your
first.
intro.
And Mart with a $10 super sticker. Thank you, buddy boy. Thank you very much. Listen, listen. I love doing the show, and it's the greatest thing in the whole wide world. But yeah.
Got
So I started this new feature, and it was brought up by one of the bashers. A couple of bashers, like it might become a side thing, like a content where I do it, invite them to a StreamYard session, and I post it later. But
mm-hmm.
I used the original version of like when we were coming up with the Bashers theme, and you came up with the better one, the original one, and I just kind of tweaked it around to make it kind of fun. But this is my
Cool.
Meet the Bashers.
Meet the Basher. Meet the Basher.
I reused that old ditty,
The cats,
cats, and my favorite hotels and stuff. But like, I'm just waiting for Emma to hear that, and you know why?
because he'll make it better.
No, well, he'll make it better, obviously, but not like my little Easter egg at the end of that tune.
Oh, the chord. Yeah.
The hemisphere thing. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Velve, $7.89, $10. Jill St. John. God, do I have a problem with Jill St. John? I love you so much. Thank you for the $10. She was Tiffany Case in Diamonds Are Forever. You know, she is. I think she murdered. I think her and RJ, and I think Christopher Walken. I think they murdered her. I think that they murdered her.
In
She
real
was
life.
on the boat, man. I don't know what it is about her. I don't trust her. I don't know what it is about her at all.
What?
Well, you know that whole story about the boat that night, right?
Tell me. I don't know.
Okay, so they're all RJ. They're all on the boat that night, right? And there's drinking going on, and there's a fight between RJ and her, and they're having this big freaking fight, and he's there, and Natalie Wood goes to bed, and she's on the boat. No one knows why she's on the boat, and she's on the boat, and the next thing you know, Natalie Wood winds up dead. But the speculation was that they were lovers, Jill St. John, and also Christopher Walken. I don't know if you've heard about the fact that he's bisexual. Apparently, his sister said it's true. Georgiana or his wife said it's true. Whatever, doesn't matter. This is speculative, but apparently there was like some shit going on with Jill St. John, RJ, and Christopher Walken, and she was very pissed, and she was a big drinker, and she went to bed. But the next thing you know, she's dead. So I don't know what to make of that, what to think about that. But Jill St. John, I love Diamonds Are Forever for two reasons. One, they got Sean Connery back, and he's James Bond. I do like On Her Majesty's Secret Service a lot. Have you watched that film? Have you seen all the Bond films?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So On Her Majesty's Secret Service is a great standalone film because it's the only one that, none of those guys are in. But it tells a really great story and is very faithful for one of the very few films that is very faithful to the original novel, which is pretty cool. But anyway, thank you, Velve, so much. I'll give you a big bang boom for that. And let's give you super chat. And Mark, thank you for the thank you so much, buddy. What's good for you? Got to come up with something fun. I keep meaning to add shit to, and I suck. gonna do it. I'm just so bad at it. But who do you got up? Lois Childs. Oh my God, she was so cute when Pussy Galore.
There's Pussy.
Yeah, I mean, my God, in heaven's name. And like today's aesthetic, I would say that they won't get it because of how they've been conditioned to like these little waifs, and not. I think men are intimidated by a real woman. Would you agree?
No, I'm not intimidated.
No, not you. I know you're not. I know your track record.
I like my.
But do you think that men in general now are all cucked out for these very strong, powerful, assertive women? Do you think that they are? I mean, it's just Solitaire. Oh, forgot about that. She was a Bond girl. I always forget that. What's her name? Jesus Christ. What's her real name? Jane Seymour, right?
Jane Seymour.
You like Jane Seymour? What do you think about her?
Yes, I do. I have a Jane Seymour story. Well, not much of one. I was in the
my
Apple
God,
store.
do tell.
I was in the Apple store and she was right in front, and the line for fixing her daughter's MacBook G3 or G4, the Pismo.
Yeah.
And she just kind of spoke out loud like, oh my God, how long does this take to get up the line? And I was like, well, what's wrong with it? I know those computers. And we got talking. Never mentioned once that, anything about her career. Just talked about her fucking computer. But yeah.
I mean, isn't that weird? That, like, first of all, I know you like the back of my hand, and you are nonplussed in general. In general. So, like, I would have thought you would have wanted to go out for a drink with that girl.
Well, certainly, but I wasn't going to ask her. And she was still even beautiful back. We're talking 20 years ago.
It's not like you work for Apple or anything.
What?
You're not like fucking with company policy or anything.
No, I was just trying to be respectful.
I know. Yeah.
It would have gotten creepy. I was
think?
just digging the fact that we were just talking about something completely unrelated. And this is back when the only Apple store in the world was the one in Soho.
Prince Street, man, the best. Yeah. Remember that? Like when it was ours. Remember when Apple was ours?
Yes.
It was good stuff. Steve Jobs. And then that scumbag bean counter piece of shit wrecked it. I was talking to our dear Julian. He's a big basher and all that stuff. And he's an old school guy that doesn't like anything Apple. I get why people don't like, you like Ferrari and you don't like Maserati. It's fine. It makes the world go round. But I was trying to describe to him how there was a time, though, for the creatives, for the photographers and the artists and the musicians, when Apple meant everything and Steve Jobs respected it. And then when that scumbag came in, he just said, nah.
Tim Cook?
Tim Cook. Just came in and ruined it made everything prosumer and super duper shitty and all that stuff. It's a shame. Like, listen, you cannot, sometimes you can't teach an old dog a new trick. I hate to be that guy. And I am, for the most part, that guy a lot of the time. But like when I hear a guy say like Apple's products suck, I mean, that's just, a very big statement to say. And, they don't, but I think maybe they do now. I don't know. Like,
how it is Apple is, the PC world was always kind of more progressive and on the cutting edge. Apple took their time. Mm-hmm. They were fancy, more expensive.
Yeah.
And they were for the kind of
niche.
Yeah, they're kind of the arty bunch and so on, whereas the PC was more the nerds thing to own. I think that's kind of flattened out now. Maybe not. Maybe it's still gamers go on PC, right?
Well, of course. But here's a question for you because I've got a lot of super chats to get to.
You've got a lot of super chats. I know. Now's my time to run off and make a salad.
Go run off. I'll do all the super chats. And then I want to ask you, because I'm not a gamer. Go do your thing. Thank you so much. Mark, $10 super sticker. You fucking rule the world. Thank you, buddy. Valve, Jill St. John, you rule the world. Just for the great crack. There's no great crack without you, Glenn Parker. Thank you so much. Let me give you cowbell. No, I'm going to give you cowbell. Danny Gutierrez. More lyrics for the gallery. You want more of that? Danny Gutierrez, 490. More lyrics for the Gallery of Bashtards. The Gallery of Bastards. Send me your shots, the sublime, send me your shots, the sublime. Sometimes I have to sing it, or else I don't remember. I didn't write them. That's Emmett O'Malley, the genius that is Emmett O'Malley. By the way, listen, like I would have done all that shit myself because I write too, but why would I do that when somebody who's better than me does it? And Emmett O'Malley's incredible. He comes in and he just does it. And he goes, "Here's the song." I'm like, "You wrote everything? Amazing." And he sent me his original thing with his vocals. And by the way, I'm a very big fan of Emmett O'Malley's vocals. I think he's a great singer. I'm just a big loudmouth. I'm the Ethel Merman of metal, and I know that. Thank you, buddy boy. Let's give you Sharon, beautiful Sharon. Oh my God, we love you. Hi, honey. What do you want to talk about tonight, my darling? You talk to me. You tell me what you want. We'll give it to you. With a more controlled environment, Basher's interviews you can edit are a better idea than live. I agree. Thank you, Nathaniel. And listen, I got some feedback. Can I just say how much I as a channel guy enjoyed it. I loved doing it. Maybe I'm missing my calling, and I liked being an interviewer because I love finding out how you tick. I always say it's your show I just hosted, and that is because finding out what makes people tick, finding out what makes people move and operate is very fascinating to me. I don't give a toss about like what I do, and it's all public knowledge. It doesn't matter. But when I speak to somebody, I don't want to talk about myself that much. I really want to know about other people. So that format was very interesting to me. Some people didn't enjoy it because it was deviating from the Bashers platform, which I get. All due respect, I super get it, and that's cool. However, I think it's not a detriment to the show. I think it should be a standalone, and I agree. Thank you so much for that, and I agree, pal. Thanks so much, Super Chat guy. Pazuzu's $10. Hey, Pazuzu, how are you, baby? Sorry about the slump, Dirk. Here's a bit. Nah, slumps. Listen, man, we go through life, and sometimes you eat a chocolate bar, and sometimes you want to pack of gum, and it's all fun. Here's a bit of positivity from the club. Looks like my money's good here. It is indeed. I was ready to give Oisin a biggie last week, but he didn't. Are you banned over on that show? Listen, I don't ban people on the show unless they do stuff like swastikas and any kind of. Listen, hate is an ugly thing, man. It's an ugly thing. Circular drama and all of that stuff. That's not hate. Hate is a guy actually having a swastika on his logo that was on my show. So thanks so much for that. No, definitely not. 100%. Thank you. Let's go. That's $10, man. That's big. Andrew Wolkowicz for reminding men that women are supposed to be curvy. You betcha, baby. Why did they ever put that Twiggy and then I get Kate Moss and all that stuff? You know what? You fall in love with who you fall in love with, and that's it. You know, I fell in love with the skinny, hairy Italian. What are you gonna do? That's just what you like. You like what you like, and that's what makes the world go around. You know, everybody, that's the beauty of the human race. Everybody's got, we talked about wine, we talked about watches, we talked about all that stuff. People make the world go round because there's every old sock meets no shoe, not to plagiarize from Kate Bush, but it's pretty incredible stuff. Thank you so much. Let's give you a big bang boom. Both Honor Blackman and Diana Rigg had starring roles in the TV series The Avengers. Rigg was Mrs. Peel. Oh, man. I'm old enough to know Roar the Tiger. And was she the most sexy thing in her cat suit? I mean, that we should bring up Mrs. Peel for a sheen. Because, listen, I know how his heart beats. And I know the type of women that can put him into tachycardia. And I think that she's one of them. And you're right, buddy. Thank you so much. For too many today who didn't memo that the difference between being male and being a man. Big difference. This fun stuff. I want to bring up the Avengers, Diana Rigg, because Roar the Tiger brought it up, and I was thinking about,
Sure.
oh God, Oisin's going to lose his marbles over Diana Rigg in that movie, in that show. She's absolutely
cute.
beautiful. She's
so cute. Yeah.
She's super duper cute. Let's do a super chat. Apple just shipped 6 cargo jets of iPhones. Did anybody watch? Not that I'm going to belabor this point because
I heard that story, Nathaniel.
Yeah, no, it's true, and I saw that there was somebody had video footage of it happening.
Oh, seriously? Wow.
Yeah, of course, because everything's on video now.
Sure.
They were showing like all the dum-dums in America who were like, it would take 10 years plus for them to figure out how to move production for an iPhone to be made in the United States. It's just not that's never going to happen. So anybody who's under the delusion that it is going to happen, it is not going to happen.
No.
So like these children that are trained monkeys who are getting paid 16 cents on the dollar to make your iPhones. It makes me want to, like, are there any phones that are not made in China?
I don't think so.
It makes me want to buy one. Because this was the last phone I bought before I went iPhone. And this is a great, remember this thing?
Oh,
when
yeah,
I got this?
so cool.
And it's mint. You know why it's mint? Because I bought this phone a month before the iPhone came out.
You never used it.
I used it for about 5 seconds flat. This is a Nokia, and this was the slider one. I mean, it doesn't do anything that a
like
smartphone
the Matrix.
does. Like, I'm waiting for this thing to go up in money, and I'll be like, for sale, bitches. And I've got the little, the cradle, and it comes in a box. And I've got the little pouch that it comes in. I'm like, I bought this. Remember that guy in our neighborhood when you lived here? That guy, that Israeli dude that sold phones? He was very cool. I love that guy. I used to drink wine with that guy.
Was there a store?
No, he lived down on 5th Street, and he had the warehouse, and we became friends. He was a sweet. He had beautiful dogs, and we were very friendly. And he goes, "Oh, my brother has a phone store," and so I went there, and he goes, I said, "Oh my God, you guys have the Scirocco 8801 Nokia. I would love it." And he gave me like 50% off on it. I bought it, and then like a week or two later, the iPhone came out. I was like, "Well, I guess I gotta buy that now."
Yeah, right.
You know. Anyway, Nathaniel, thank you for that. And then we got JHP Dirk Legend. Oh, come on now, you.
Nice.
Come on with your pretty Thank you so much. That's a huge super chat. Thank you. By the way, anybody interested in doing Meet the Bashers? It's something I'm very interested in because Oisin, I really enjoyed being on the Dick Cavett side of the couch.
Nice.
I thought it was really fun to pick somebody's brain, and I met Jeff and Michelle, who were, by the way, fantastic. They were so adorable. They're these lovely people, these American couple that have grown children and are trying to figure out life. Empty nesters, travel. He's had 160 different exotic cars. She does a lot of charity work. Listen, guys, everybody, all of you people out there, there are so many people with interesting stories to tell and are not being told. We have, the Kardashians and all these superficial twat bags that are out there. But real people have real stories like Mike Rowe and those kind of cats. Meet the Bashers. While it might not be a perfect fit on a regular show for the iBashers, it might be a perfect fit as an addendum to other things. So I might upload those. If anybody, JHB, if anybody wants to be a part, please, you know how to reach me. It's basherdirk@gmail.com, basherdirk@gmail.com. And tell me that you'd like to be on that. And we'll just do a lively interview, not live, and then I'll post it later. And if you have any problems with any of the content, we can edit it out. I'm flexible.
Well, you better have Eddie on because I think Eddie might be pissed.
Well, no. Eddie was. We begged him. I begged him.
No, I turned him off. I think it was my fault. Definitely
Eddie,
my fault.
you know how much we love you, man.
Yeah.
You know how much we love you. Anyway, I owe Big Bang Boom for that thing. Rufus says $4.99. If you're the Ethel Merman of metal, I must be the Barney Fife of punk. That made me spit on my dude. I'm the Ethel Merman. I'm the fucking loudest thing in the room, dude. I'm the Ethel Merman. I know who I am. Listen, I have no. I know. I'm the loudest guy in the room. That's what I listen. There's nothing worse than not knowing who the fuck you are. I'll never be Ozzy or any of those guys that have their own thing, their own sound, their own thing. Everybody's a ripoff of everybody. But you know what I am? I'm fucking louder. It's my claim to fame. Joe LaFar, for all of love. Oh, God. Joe, who is your... Because I want to know, because we all love Handsome Joe. Right?
Yeah, everybody tell us
Joe,
who their favorite Bond lady is.
Joe, I want to, in the back of my mind, I'm not going to guess, because that would be disrespectful. But I think, like, I know who you are, what your tastes are. I kind of know who I think your favorite Bond girl is. Please let me know. $4.99. Thank you so much, buddy, for the super chat. Let's give you this one. An unedited live stream is entertaining. You know, look, Dean had this, Travis. Listen, man. And, you know, Dean is one of the pillars of the iBashers. He loves it when stuff gets uncomfortable. And I get that, too. Because that's live train of thought. Shit can go off the rails. Stuff gets weird. Somebody might say, you know what we really like is Thursday night swinging. You know, that could happen. And like everybody like, oh my God. And it could be great for the channel. It could be bad for the channel. I don't know. But I think for this particular thing, because listen, Bashers and, you know, Friday nights is our night where we, you know, we do what we do. Did you see the thumbnail today, Shane?
I did, and I didn't pay attention. Why?
It's a cat version of us, of our classic thumbnail.
Oh shit! Let me go look for. You're getting really good at this shit, man.
It's really good, though. I can pull it up if you need it.
Oh, I found it.
You're even holding up the collar of your.
I'm even. I'll pull it up here. That's hilarious.
I know. You've got green eyes. I have blue eyes. It's like, it's perfect. It took like 3 tries, but I sent the picture into
only 3. I thought you were about to say 30 tries.
No. It's getting better. It's very slow now. ChatGPT's DALL-E is super slow now. It used to be quicker, and you'd have to go through more iterations, but it's gotten better over time. It's gotten better. Travis, thank you so much, though. Listen, like that's what Fridays is about, right? Because somebody might say, and Pazuzu, first concert, 1978, Judas Priest. Okay, so this is Crazy Town. So I never saw Priest open for UFO. I was confused by Michael Schenker and KK Downing. Well, they look the same. Sure, black leather and flying V's. Sure. I mean, at that time, Michael Schenker was playing a white V, which he's doing again, back to Gibson. But oh, wow, you saw a Priest open. The only time I ever saw UFO was by themselves, and I saw them open up for Def Leppard and Ozzy, and the only time I got to see Randy Rhoads live. Randy Rhoads, Ozzy Osbourne, UFO, and Def Leppard. That was a good show, right? But like, nice. Lucky you. Yeah, I know. I mean, listen, there's advantages to being an old motherfucker. Definitely is, right? Lazenby was only 28. Peter Campbell? That's hard to believe. Because he looked like he was 48. People looked older back in the day. I'm sorry. They just definitely did. What happened? Is it skincare or diet or
I don't know.
What is it?
Has to be diet. General diet has to be.
Well, now you're preaching to Oisin's choir, my friend Danny Gutierrez.
And the Dharmas.
I mean, that's just absolutely crazy.
Oh yeah, I forgot she was in She was in one of the Bob movies.
She was in No Time to Die. She has that big shootout when everybody gets the gas. By the
Yeah,
way,
she's in the red dress.
she's in the red. She's an absolute banger-rooney.
Yes.
I have only watched that movie once. I've seen every Bond film 50 times. I've only ever watched No Time to Die once.
So clearly you didn't like it that much.
It's not that I didn't like it. I hated Skyfall, and I've seen it 3 times, and I hate that movie.
Okay.
It's long. It's very, very long film. Maybe that's what it is.
I don't know.
I don't know. She's great. Why is she not becoming the biggest star in the world? I thought she would be.
She is already. She's
She's not the biggest star in the
Well,
world. She's not. Who's the biggest star in the world? You keep going out. What's going on with your camera? Oh, you're chewing? And what great etiquette you have.
I don't think people want to watch me stuff salad into my face.
I mean, it's funny how many YouTube channels watch people eat, which I think is disgraceful. And I'm not to disparage. Listen, we need to do a Watch Fashion Police episode, and we need to have Tim on the show.
Tim?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I've got to fix the shorts.
You got to overhaul.
I got to listen.
Yeah,
I love
everyone.
the guy.
We were in Geneva, and everyone was so well dressed, and of course,
Miami
Sean
Manny.
was
How many jackets did he bring?
Yeah, he was
many
very well
jackets
dressed,
did
and
he bring?
and
Miami
Sean
Manny
was looking great. And
Well, Sean is the icon in his own realm.
yeah, it was
So that's the thing.
super style.
Miami Manny had like a gray jacket, a blue jacket, a black jacket, a gray jacket. The guy was impeccably dressed, slacks, beautiful shirts. I was so uber impressed. And then I was like, Timmy's got an Amazon t-shirt and a pair of like track shorts. I'm like, okay, this has got to end right now. And I want to be the guy to help him out.
Sure.
I mean, my God, he lives in New York. We've never met in person, but I want to take Timmy and I want to go get him. I want to get him a made for measure jacket because every man needs to have one. But I want to get him like 3 or 4 shirts and a couple of great blazers and some great slacks because he owes that. Watches and Wonders. He was wearing shorts. I was
he was wearing shorts. It was pretty bad. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I didn't get it. I was like,
it's kind of his, maybe a little bit his shtick.
Okay. But everybody, because I watched all the shows, man, and people were so down on him. I was like, I can help. And Michaela can help. And we can make this happen. We can make it happen. Mm-hmm. And I want to be there for our brother and I want to make it happen. I want to pick out some great stuff. And I've already got the color palette because like he's got pretty eyes and all that stuff. And like we can make shit pop for Tim Wright. And I want to do it. I want to make it happen. Just freaked me out. I was like, what's with the shorts? Shit. Rufus says team needs a lot. Listen, that's okay. Listen, God knows what his life was like in Ukraine. And like, you ever see Eastern European, the way people dress, they look like, it's crazy shit. Right. And he lives in Brooklyn. You ever see the way people dress? Watch Anora. That's how they dress, Yeah. Sean is an anomaly. However, Sean. But Sean, listen, Sean has a completely unique style.
It's stiff competition with Sean.
It's crazy. Sean he's an anomaly completely because Sean does not follow trends and Sean does not go for the zeitgeist. Sean has a signature style. Mm-hmm. Sean has a particular aesthetic that he goes for and he wears it so well. That's his look. And that is something that not lots of guys can do in the world because they're following like what's hot with, this designer or that designer or whatever designer. Sean doesn't give a shit. He picks different aesthetics from different eras that suit him, color palettes. I mean, I've seen him in a almost purple jacket, like a off kind of crimson, and it looks impeccable on the guy because he exudes style, grace, and charm. And that's him. That's Sean. Sean Bashar is fucking a legend. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing. So we don't need to talk about him at all, but we could talk about other things. If I had to pick up Mr. Bashar's style sense, then all hope is lost. You can't. Well, you can. Nathaniel, listen, don't sell yourself short. First of all, Nathaniel Hannon is a tall, handsome, and very well-dressed man. So don't give me any of that self-defense.
You know who Nathaniel looks like? He looks like Michael Collins. There's a photo of Michael Collins that looks exactly like
the Michael Collins?
Like the Irish Revolutionary.
Wow.
There's a photo that looks exactly like our good Nathaniel. I'll find it.
Yeah, we got to fix that. We got to fix him up. But thank you. I'm going to give you a big bang boom for that. Let's go cowbell. I've seen Tim dressed up. He has the ability. But listen, Europeans and Americans is a different thing. Americans have 50 black t-shirts, 50 pairs of shorts, 10 pairs of jeans. Europeans have 3 amazing jackets, 2 amazing suits, 4 amazing shirts. They have very little of great quality. They buy quality. Americans buy tons of shit. We go to the Gap, and not that I love Banana Republic. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of stuff from Banana Republic, but people are now buying Amazon clothes. They're buying shit and shorts and things like that. But you don't have to be wearing Brunello Cucinelli and Gucci and Prada and all that stuff. There are other brands that you can get in these foreign countries that have amazing stuff. Oh yeah, kind of, sort of, right?
It's a little bit of Nathaniel in there, isn't there?
I see it. Well, that's an honor, right? To look like Michael Collins.
I mean, in that photo, he's kind of pushing forward his chin a bit or something, but yeah.
I see that a little bit. Wow, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Andrew says, in Timmy's defense, he didn't wear flip-flops. Listen, anybody who wears flip-flops outside of the pool, beach, or cabana should be assassinated. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it should be. The Tchotchke Merchant of Venice, $2. Shabbat Shalom. Hey, happy Passover to everybody, because it's right now. It is right. Yeah, right this second. It is right now. A Tim makeover would be let's go to town, man. Listen, man, I'll tell you right now that I've got some suits in my closet that would fucking give you a nosebleed, but I need to lose 20 pounds. So that's got to happen. And once I do that, I'll be back in my Tom Ford era Dirkisms. But I have this one suit that I will probably never fit in because I bought it in 2000 when I was desperately starving myself to death, and I got down to a 38 regular, and it is and I might give it away on the show. It is a 38 regular Tom Ford Gucci suit in creme silk and cotton, and it is one of the most beautiful suits, and I wore it for about a year, but it was an unsustainable weight for me. I weighed 130 pounds. It is an unsustainable weight for a big hairy Irish guy. It's not possible. I'm a Brutus of a guy for the most part, and I'm a 41 regular at best. But I was wearing a 38 regular, and I would be happy to I have some stuff in my closet that's unbelievable. And I know, listen, it's a pipe dream. My 40 regular, I can get into 40 regular tomorrow. 38, it's too hard, and I'm too old. I had youth on my side. I was 35, and it's perfect, by the way. It's a notch lapel. It's a ticket pocket. It's double vent. It's flat front pants. It is not something that will ever go out of style. It is a classic suit. So anybody who's got those kind of measurements, we can talk about that down the line. Elizabeth Olsen does it for me. Just my 2 cents. So that's because she's a Scientologist. Does that help you out? There you go. And I'm not pissed. I was kidding, boys. I'd be way out of my depth to come on. No, Eddie, listen.
See, that's my fault. I just didn't want to make it a free-for-all. Once you open those floodgates, it becomes trouble.
I don't care about the floodgates because if I do it on a edit, your camera keeps going out, my friend. Welcome to my world of crime. Oh, you're doing it on purpose. Okay. Well, listen, you eat
I'm having deja vu. You said exactly the same thing 5 minutes ago.
But you eat like a civilized human being.
But
you're not like being grotesque.
You see me munching.
Do you ever see what some people do on their streams? It's amazing.
I know, but
Eddie, let's talk about Elizabeth Olsen. I love her too. Great actress. However, she's a Scientologist. Could you imagine? She was married to Fred Armisen for a month. And they
Fred Armisen for a month?
For a month. She was married to
Fred Armisen. Because he just ran out of there?
He probably ran for his life.
For his life.
What do you do when, is there anybody out there that doesn't think he's one of the most funniest people in the universe? Does that guy make you laugh uncontrollably? Do you love Fred Armisen?
He's great. He's great.
I mean, not only that, but the other thing that's really crazy is he's an amazing musician. So he
Yeah.
does these funny skits on drumming. And like, I don't know if it's muso only when he talks about time signatures and shit, but like, I almost pee in my pants. But that guy just like, yeah, what are you doing here? The 45 to the blah, blah, blah. He's one of the funniest guys. And she looks like she doesn't have a sense of humor whenever you see her outside.
No, she's a cutie. I follow her on
Oh,
Instagram.
she's gorgeous as a woman.
No, I follow her on Instagram. She's a cutie in personality.
Oh, well, am I looking at the wrong person?
That's Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm thinking of Peggy Olsen. Oh God, who's Elizabeth Olsen?
Or the Olsen twins.
Oh, she's one of the Olsen twins. Forgive me, Bashers. I'm an old man. What do I know? Oh wow. Oh yeah, those girls. Which was the one that
she's beautiful and she's aging really well. She's really aging well.
God, I remember when they were babies on Full House. I feel like such an old man. How are they? She's aging well. How old are they?
Elizabeth Olsen now must be 41.
Wow. Oh, can you pull up that devil shot? That was very cute. Go down a little further. Look at that. Oh, how cute is that? Oh, she's adorable. Now, aren't they identical twins?
I don't think so.
Oh, they're not. They're fraternal twins. Okay. No. Who am I thinking of? Elizabeth. Who's the one from Mad Men? Peggy Olsen. Why did I think that? Her name is Elizabeth. Oh Jesus, God! I think that's what wine does to you. Flip-flop assassinations. Joe, you and me both. You know what the last thing I want to see is your hairy toes in flip-flops on a boardwalk. That's the last thing anybody should have.
I bought a pair. When I was in Miami, I didn't have the shoes because I had been in New York was cold and Dublin was cold as always. And next thing I'm in Miami Beach and this lovely soft warm air coming in from the water. So I bought a pair kind of out of desperation. I just ran into some little place there. There's a couple of these little shitty stores there to sell you a stupid shirt and all of that. And I bought a pair of flip-flops just to try them out and see what the fuck, because to be fine on the beach. I could not walk.
Do you know how many people break their legs and break their bones? I had this super duper obnoxious queen that used to live on the next building. And he was such a sassy little bitch. And he was so annoying. And he would just, he used to be like, you cab driver, come up, I'm Blanche Dubois. And he used to walk around with his, and he was like a chubby, unattractive queen. And everybody, he was so fierce and so fabulous. And all the women were like, we love you. And I couldn't stand him. It's like, I see through your veneer of bullshit. And one day he's walking down the street. He's like, I'm giving him a Southern accent, like he's in a Tennessee Williams play. And he breaks his shin and his kneecap. You know why? Because he stepped off the curb in flip-flops. And because people don't realize when they walk in flip-flops on a city street, it does that.
Yeah.
And it gives them the inability to walk correctly. Right. So what happened? He missed the step and he broke his leg in both places. They're not a city shoe. Flip-flops were invented. They should never have been invented. There's nothing wrong. Gentlemen, hear me out. As your watch fashion police consultant, there is nothing wrong with a sandal. There is nothing wrong with a beautiful slide for the Lido, for the cabana, or for the beach. But when you're wearing them in a city street and you go into a restaurant with a pair of cargo shorts, I hope you break your fucking leg.
I threw them away. I got about 60 feet and I just threw them away and I turned around barefoot and went back to the store.
Attaboy. That's my boy. Yeah, because first of all, I would kill you because it's the worst thing ever. But you know what? Many years ago at Saks Fifth Avenue.
It's so uncomfortable.
They're uncomfortable. But like these bro-tods, how you doing, bro? What's up? I'm going down to fucking the Black Sheep and I'm going to put my cargo shorts and my freaking flip flops on. And do you think any ladies are going to find you attractive? You better pull out the biggest phallus in the world or be so charming. I don't know any woman that looks at you with your cargo shorts and your flip flops. She's going to say next, because that is not an attractive look to anyone. And even
That's
if you
true.
want to just say, I can get any, what is that word? Incel? Did you know about this? This was before you came on the show, right? I talked about incel. Have you watched Adolescence?
Involuntarily
Okay.
celibate.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. And I didn't know it was an Andrew
Oh.
Tate-ism either. I didn't know anything about
It's not an Andrew Tateism. It predates him by years, but
Okay. Well, Emmett recommended this show Adolescence, and it's very hard to watch.
yeah, I
It's
heard.
very, very difficult. And then they talk about incel, and they attribute it to Andrew Tate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's
They
fine.
actually mention him in
They
it?
mention him on the show. They say
shit.
it's an Andrew Tate-ism. And, I'm not a fan of that guy at all. But what really scares me is, like, listen, I was a super duper nerdy guy when I was a kid. And the worst bullying I ever had, and, like, I'm not a victim. I'm not trying to play that card in any way, shape, or form. But when I went to Holy Cross High School, I was an aspiring drummer. I was not a singer yet. I wanted to be a drummer. My parents bought me a drum kit, and I had this great tutor named Dr. Bohall, and he was teaching me, and he basically was trying to tell me that, because he heard me sing, and he said, that might be your true calling. And I was in a couple of different musical things, but I had these two guys that thought they were very cool, and they bullied the living shit out of me. And they basically kind of ostracized me from the cafeteria. So no one would think I was cool or like it was an all boys school, so there were no girls there. But it was not a pleasant experience. But, like, I never thought I was uncool because I liked rock, and like these kids didn't know that I listened to fucking Fragile, and they didn't know that I had Tales from Topographic Oceans. They didn't know, like I was like, I went to you guys. Do you guys even know who Simon Phillips is? Because they were talking about drummers. And I'm like, for me, they thought I was nerdy, and maybe I was nerdy because I was good at school and I was kind of smart, and it annoyed them. And that when, like, that, like, music would be shown in music school, like, I could read a little bit because I studied piano when I was a kid. So they were just, like, annoyed by me, and they had the look, and I was a thing. But when I saw the incel thing, I thought, oh my God, this is a completely new construct for bullying, to tell a boy that he will never be sexually attractive to anyone. Wow, that's frightening to me. That some external group of people can create a construct where somebody is all of a sudden no longer attractive to other people, and other people will buy it. So it means involuntarily celibate. Because other people have determined you. Wow, that's so fucked up.
Yeah, but they're an aggressive bunch themselves. The incels, they congregate online. This has been going on for a very long time, and they have a lot of hatred for women. They resent women because women won't have sex with them. Women don't find them attractive, and they've turned their sadness and their anguish into anger and aggression.
This kid killed this little girl.
Right. So there was a guy, must have been 7-8 years ago, who got on Facebook Live or whatever. And he's sitting in his car. Maybe he was in Miami or somewhere. And he's like, I'm going to just go shoot everyone, And
when people are left with no
asked for this. You asked for this, women. And then he got out of his car and started shooting people. And he shot himself. It was all over the news. So they kind of turn it into, like, resentment against the opposite sex. Listen, it's a tough reality, but
well, listen.
I was watching.
Were you ever uncool? Were you ever uncool in school?
Oh yeah, we were very uncool. Myself and my older brother, we had long hair. We were into rock and roll, and in Dublin in the 80s, that was uncool. That was a weirdo. We were the guys that listened to Rush and Maiden. And all the fellas in Dublin were into Rasta and shit that was on the pop. I was on Pop TV. They didn't know who Rush was, and we got very bullied for that. Being into rock wasn't cool in Dublin in the 80s. But I was very young. There's a guy, I'm trying to think of the name. He's all over. I'll find it. Anyway,
He's a social media guy. I want to know who he is.
He does math. He does the math of attraction of people. And it's very interesting. I'm sure people like my daughter hate him because he's turned it into math. But I actually kind of enjoy it. And let me see. Maybe somebody in the crowd knows the name of him. But it's like something logic or something math or something. And anyway, so there's a clip of a woman going, someone explain it to me. When I'm into a guy, I like a guy and he's not interested in me. But then guys who are interested in me, not into them, but then they won't leave me alone. And he's like, I'll explain it. And he has a long line of women from 1 to 10 and men from 1 to 10. And he goes, because most women are attracted to these top 3 men. They're out of their league. They're going for these men. These are the only men that are attractive. The rest of the men would date you, but you're not attracted to them. All women are attracted to the top 3, to these men, unless they do something extraordinary outside, like become a billionaire like Elon Musk or whatever, or become famous.
He's so sexy.
Yeah, right. Something else. Otherwise, they're all women from 1 down to 10, from the most attractive to the least attractive, are all attracted to the same pool of men, a small pool of men, and those men get to reject women all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of these men, you don't see yourself with, and so on. He goes through the logic of it, and I have to say, I don't disagree with how he's broken it down. Let me see if I can find it while you're talking.
Sure.
Oh, man.
The Tchotchke Merchant of Death. You got Oisin on here, so I wonder if this is kind of like whatever. I can pose what this is, but it's $5. Happy Passover. Happy Passover to everybody. Listen, I have a lot of Jewish folks in my life who are very important to me, and I love them dearly. It's celebration of the freedom of Jews from slavery, which is true, in their indigenous home of the land of Israel in 1440 BCE. Congratulations. Let's give them a big bang boom. I worry about the icon, though. I think you're trying to start something.
Of course,
Oisin O'Malley is not an anti-Semite, my friends. He's an anti-Zionist, and there's a very big difference between the two. Look it up. I don't want to get into that whole thing.
All those people converted to Islam, and they now live in Gaza, so they're killing the Jews.
True. Yeah. There's a very big difference between the two.
Logic, let me see. Is it like
Andrew Wolkowicz, $20. I have no idea what OF costs, OnlyFans. But for Oisin to take one for the team and check out Denise Richards' OnlyFans, why would he do that? First of all, that's not his type, my friend. You don't know that man if you think he is not interested in her in any way. Wrong broad.
She was very cute a long time ago.
Maybe when she was
Denise Richards, she looked like a doll.
She just comment what it's like, keep it clean, up, foot, and subscribe. And Nathaniel Hannon, $4.99. I just don't understand why anybody wants to. I don't get that guy either. I don't get his zeitgeist. He's a brotard. I don't like. Listen, some of what his stuff is whatever. Listen, there's always going to be a germ of truth to a lot of stuff. But that guy, first of all, he looks like a fucking fish. And he's one of the ugliest human beings I've ever seen. No girl would want to fuck that guy voluntarily unless he had a black card, because he's ugly as fuck. I don't care how good looking or how hung you are. It doesn't matter, but he's ugly. I'm not a fan of that guy at all. I just watched the whole thing with that guy. I was like, he's a douche. But listen, Bill Maher, whom I can't stand, has a germ of truth. There's a lot of people out there who have something to say, and you can take little bits and pieces, but there are people that love that guy. I don't get it myself. I don't get it. And Nathaniel Hanna with, what does this mean? Ho-math.
Ho-math. That's it. Nathaniel, thank you. You just saved me a lot.
There's nobody smarter than him. I think Nathaniel Hannon looks like a young Brando.
Nice.
Especially in that picture. I think it looks like a young. I almost said hung. Young and hung Brando. Look at that's a great shot. You look like some kind of crazy great actor in that. You look like
this is
the actor studio.
Yeah, actually, I would say Nathaniel's a little better looking than Michael Collins. I'm not
No, he's a
comparing his.
very handsome
I'm
man.
not comparing the looks. I'm comparing
No.
certain features, if you know what I mean. Let me. How do I play this? I should share a tab. Correct? You share a tab if you want the sound. Make it make sense. This is it.
Yeah, the sound is with the tabs only.
I hope my daughter doesn't. She doesn't watch the show anyway, but
Oh,
she'd be like, "Dad, you fucking watching that bullshit." Let me know if you can hear it. Yeah.
Why do guys that I'm interested in end up not wanting to pursue me?
Because they are the same guys that everyone is interested in.
And then guys that
Pause
I'm
it for
not
1
interested
second.
in pursue me.
I just want to make sure that everybody can hear this because this sounds really interesting. Can everybody hear that, guys?
If you can hear it, then they can
hear it.
hear it.
Are you sure?
Yes,
I don't
because
know if
how
that's
would you
true.
be getting the feed? How would you?
I
be
had
getting
Ray
the feed?
Ray's videos the other day, and I heard it great. And nobody else heard it.
You could hear your own video, but if you're hearing my video coming from here,
Oh, okay, great. Okay, let it roll.
capiche?
Baby. Yeah, capiche.
Can we at least get a yes from the people?
Yeah, just give us one. Give us a like a shovel.
Could people hear that? I think
I
they
love
could.
Jim. Can I just say how much I love
Audio
Jim
is great.
Patterson?
Great.
He's like my
Okay, so
kind of
let's
guy.
do it again.
End up not wanting to pursue me.
Because they are the same guys that everyone is interested in.
And then guys that I'm not interested in pursue me and pursue me hard and do not give up.
Because those are the guys that nobody is interested in.
Please make it make sense.
Okay. Human beings are born with a sense of fairness. We like to think that the universe is fair and everything evens out, but it's not and it doesn't. We think that things work a certain way, but it's actually just a feeling that we need to have. Otherwise, life would be a nightmare. We like to believe that there is someone out there for everyone, but in reality, it's only a few guys that are attractive to all the girls. The rest of these guys are practically invisible until they do something extra and then you notice them. In other words, they have to make up for their lack of attractiveness by being extra nice. That means that all women dream of being with just a few exciting men, so there's not enough to go around. So if we match 1-to-1, that means that most women will never get what they're looking for. This used to work better because women kind of had to get married when they had less power, so most people would match 1-to-1. But now that you have your own money, we don't match 1-to-1 anymore. We threw all those rules out the window, and now everything is a mess. Because women are no longer marrying who they must, and instead, they are pursuing who they want, and it's all the same few guys. Let's say this is you. This is the guy that you're looking for, and he isn't interested in committing because he's got all the attention he can handle, and so does he. And here is the guy who's looking for you, and you're not interested in him, and neither is anyone else. Except maybe her, but then he doesn't want to commit to her either. To make matters worse, dating apps give people the illusion of more options than they really have. So when you say,
Please make it make sense.
that is your brain trying to believe that people naturally pair off with someone at their own level. But that's not how nature works. Nature makes all the women want these few men, and then these men want these women who are not interested because they want Prince Charming, although Prince Charming is busy. And then these girls way down here are pursuing these guys who don't want to be seen with them. People love to forget that we are nature, we are animals, and we have a lower biological nature. And nature doesn't say, I should pick someone appropriate for me. Nature says I should get the best I possibly can, which creates a market. This website on walrus reproduction says that one male is shared by 23 females. At certain points in our history, 17 women reproduced for every one man, and throughout all of history, only 40% of men reproduce compared to almost 90% of women. So this is not new. It's just what male mammals do when nothing stops them. And if you want to go back to everyone matching one by one, then you have to go back to the rules that made it happen. But you said you didn't like those. So the reason that people no longer pair up one by one is that sexual freedom makes society collapse. This guy wrote a book about it, and just look at him. He tried to warn you. Here, I know none of you are going to read this. The whole of human history does not contain a single instance of a group becoming civilized unless it has been absolutely monogamous, nor is there any example of a group retaining its culture after it has adopted less rigorous customs. So the reason the guys you like don't like you, and the other way around, is because that's what people do when you let them.
Interesting, huh?
Wow. God, I'm so happy I'm gay. Jesus Christ. It's
Sure
too
you have.
difficult. I met a guy, he fit all the physical shit I wanted, and that was it, baby.
Well, you got lucky, but surely the same rules apply within. You just
No, they don't.
have men on both sides of the
For
thing.
sex, they are. It's
That
superficial.
all
Like, is he
men
a big
want
dick?
the
Is he
handsome,
handsome?
attractive
Yeah. All that
men,
stuff, yeah.
and they're not interested in the queens that aren't attractive, right?
Well, but then there's so many subsects. There's guys that only love cute little Asian bottoms, and there are guys that like guys who wear drag or can I ask a question? And I hope
Mhm.
I'm not speaking out of turn here, and I don't mean this in any way. Different strokes for different folks. What was up with the Daniel Katz and drag thing? Do you have any idea?
It's kind of his funny shtick about he's kind of being a comedian and dressing up. Kind of, he likes to peacock a little bit.
Oh, but so I mean,
It's kind of a whole job. Himself and Tim are kind of begging to be mocked. That's one of the reasons why Tim is
Oh.
dressed so badly. Tim
he
can
did
dress
it on
a little bit.
purpose.
Yeah, that it's like I'm completely out of place here. I'm at an expensive watch show where people are wearing beautiful suits and talking in French and talking about watches. And I'm walking around with shorts and looking as bad as I possibly can. It's almost like an Archie stick, where you want to
I
look.
was like, oh, okay. And can I say he didn't?
They call it
bad.
Daniela.
Daniela, he didn't look bad. He looked pretty good. He looked like a classic, older, like Parisian lady, all dressed up.
Right.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. Andrew Oakwich, $50. My bad for the last one. I had 2 women at my work ask me, where are the single guys? God, you have the horniest chicks in your job, man. I mean, he works in a place. Listen, he's in Canada, so maybe he's in a rural place. Single guys who are a little step up for a single mom. And Andrew's a great looking guy. Told him to check your friend zone. There's a guy waiting for you who's always been there for you. That might very well be
right.
true.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm the only person I know. I believe I'm the only person I know that I've done a lot of the other way around. I've had a lot of girls who I kept in the friend zone who didn't want and couldn't move into the other zone. Because I'm really, people say that men only have friends who are girls who they would secretly like to sleep with. And there's no such thing as unless he's gay. There's no such thing as a man having a friend and enjoying their company and not wanting to sleep with them. And every time I see that, I'm like, I'm that guy. Because I'm like absolutely fine with having female friends that I can hang out with that I'm not attracted to in any way, even if they are attractive. And some of them have been quite attractive.
I've known so many girlfriends of yours who are gorgeous that you never slept with.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unfortunate that people feel that way because they don't say that about women.
One of them was over with me in my brother's house back in Long Island City when they were there. And she was a tall, skinny Hawaiian model, ex-model.
Yeah.
Beautiful girl. And we were friends. We'd hang out a little bit. And someone was there. I think it was one of Dana's friends or something from work who was there. And we were talking about relationships or something. And somebody said, well, it's like you two. You guys are a lovely, nice looking couple. And I said, oh, no, we're not a couple. And she kind of went, oh, you guys aren't dating? And the girl started crying. Because it was clearly she was
thinking that was gonna happen.
She was hoping that I would eventually get around to it. And truthfully, one night, very drunk, I did kind of get around to it, but it was only because I was really drunk, and I was.
That doesn't happen in the gay world.
Really?
No, I'm gonna fuck you on the first date.
Oh,
it's going to happen right away because I'm attracted to you. There's none of that psychological shit. It's just going to happen. And then we'll deal with that later. Like if we like each other and it might go further. But like gay dudes generally get that nonsense out of the way immediately.
I see.
That's a shame that I feel bad for her. That's why I love women, because they're so sensitive and like they want the best so much. Like we'll get
well, I mean, I felt
first.
bad because what have I been leading her on the whole time? You know,
No,
unintentionally.
but she made have.
Also, how long was she
very...
going to wait around? I mean, we had been friends for ages, and we'd, you know, I'd text her and go, "Hey, I'm in the city. I just finished doing some work," and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna grab a bite and whatever and have a chat." And honestly, she just turned me off because she would just constantly complain about her job. She was a flight attendant, and everything was a fucking complaint. And I realized that she communicated through complaints. She couldn't speak unless it was, "Oh my God, I couldn't believe my landlord yesterday." And, "Oh, I had this guy on the plane the other day and he wouldn't shut up and he kept asking for water." And I was just like, okay, we're on to complaint number 29 now. We actually haven't had a regular exchange. And it just turned me off.
Yeah, well, that can be a turnoff.
And I mean, if you saw her, you'd be like, holy shit, why the hell?
Yeah, it's crazy. Let me give Andrew a big bang boom. Nathaniel says, emo my favorite Brando. And then he says, Dirk, I think the same rules apply to us. I disagree, Nathaniel. I don't think that they do.
I'm going to take a huge liberty here.
Go.
Don't take it the wrong way. Nathaniel's got more experience than you in the sense that you've been with the one guy. You got lucky early, and you've had that one experience for 35 years.
Sure.
Nathaniel is... You know, he's been
on the dating
on and off, and he's got in different places in the world.
Fair play to you, Nathaniel and Oisin. You're right. But back in the day when it was like, you know, also, can I be honest with you? Not to sound scary, guys, but like in 1989, when I met Paul, like meeting somebody was crucial because you were afraid you were going to catch AIDS from people.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That was a very big thing. Like I remember
pick a clean one and stick with it.
Right. Well, listen, it's not like, listen, Paul was everything I ever wanted, ever dreamed in a person. And I'll be the first to admit that then and now. He's everything I like. And he's smart and funny and attractive and all the great stuff, all that great stuff. He's all that stuff. And I'm the luckiest person in the whole wide world. However, back in the day, I dated a bunch of people. I had my slutty side.
I'm not saying you have no experience.
No, I did. But like, it was scarier back then. Nowadays, everybody's like, I use PrEP. I use this. Like, everybody's so slutty now. It's incredible, but we couldn't be that slutty back then. And you know what? I'm going to take what I said back completely because Oisin's right and Nathaniel's right. It is the same now because guys are the cattiest Instagram bitches ever. They're just as bad as every Instagram female influencer or judging every guy. And queens are the worst when it comes to that stuff. And so, you know what? Back in my day, like I remember I went for a fucking HIV test and they were wearing hazmat suits. I'm that old, kids.
Wow.
And like, thank God I've never had to have another one of those because it was horrific, you know, because back in the day, like you could die from just having sex with somebody because you were attracted to them. Now these kids are like, nobody wears condoms or any of that stuff now. They're all super riding dirty and they're all on PrEP. And like, while that sounds great from the majority, I mean, to me, PrEP? I don't trust that shit. PrEP. Oh. PrEP is this prophylactic pill that you can take that all the queens are on, all the gays are on, everybody's on it. And it's for sexually active men that inhibits HIV from entering your bloodstream.
Oh, didn't know that existed.
So how about the fact that when I was out being a lark and having a good time, meeting somebody and having sex with somebody you love could kill you. With today, you can fuck everybody in the motel and be on PrEP and be grand because there is a drug out there called PrEP, and it is a drug that enables people to have sex with as many people as they want and it inhibits HIV from entering your bloodstream. That's the marvels that science has made for a disease that previously, I'm not trying to drag Bashers down, but like it was a death sentence for everybody. Look who we left: Freddie Mercury, Rock Hudson, all these great artists.
Right.
But nowadays, everybody's just fucking everybody, and it's like a free for all over again. And I don't think that's good either, because it kind of just makes everybody kind of slutty. Travis says my uncle died from AIDS when I was a teen in the 80s. Yeah, but if he had PrEP, he would have been fine. You know, most people. And Nathaniel, look, listen.
Sorry to hear that.
No. I'm so sorry that I actually like. I just want to rewind it and just say, you're so right. Both of you are so right. Because I don't have a barometer, because I'm not going to the video booths and the sex clubs and I'm not doing any of that shit.
But it doesn't even have to be that filthy. Can't it
Oh
just be
no, but it
regular
is that
dating,
filthy.
gay,
No, gays
gay
are the worst.
dating?
No, it's not.
Okay,
Guys are the
I don't
worst,
know.
dude.
I don't
you know
know
what? If you could go to the local cinema,
so you can't be a homosexual man and just go on regular dates.
Oh yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. And I was, but there's way too much temptation for gay men. It's too easy to get laid. It's everything you've ever thought about getting, like how much you wish it would be easy for you. In the gay world, it's that easy. It's the truck stop, it's the toilet, it's the cinema, it's the club, it's the stuff. It's because guys are guys, and all guys want to just have sex, right? There's like the female kind is the objection to the rule. It stops the whole thing. But back in the day, back then, it was like everybody was dying because everybody was so slutty, because we're slutty. Men are slutty. We want to do it when we want to do it, and if we have a willing partner, we're going to do it. So
fair enough.
I mean, it's just like gay men are no different than straight men in the terms of how often and how easily they want to have sex. Yeah, you have a problem. Girls don't want to do it that as much as guys do. We're all the same animal. We just want to do it. Like the old joke. What's the second date for a lesbian couple? A U-Haul. What's the second date for a gay couple? What second date?
Okay.
Because it's so
sounds
much
very
easier.
lonely and horrible.
Well, it can be, but it could also be very social, and you could be part of a whole world if you've got an evolved sexuality. You could be like, oh, I've been with Eric, and I've been with Steve, and you have been with Steve. Like it can be that too. Luckily for me, I'm not cut from that cloth, so it wasn't my thing. Luckily for me, I had a very short period of time of seeing what was out there. I went to the clubs and I saw what it was, but by the time I was 24, I was married, and I'm grateful for it. But it is, as a gay guy, it's a lot easier to get laid, man. It's a nod, it's a wink, it's a thing, and I mean, it's easier. But you're right, and I apologize being wrong for that. Andrew says,
come on, that's fine.
No. It's like sometimes you have to take yourself out of the equation and say, oh God, I've missed the boat on that. Like, I don't understand why everybody loves Taylor Swift. Well, because why would I? It's, for the fellows that are having a problem with picking up girls, are usually a mean casual hookup. They will introduce yourself by a bar name. Well, that's everybody. When I met Paul, he said his name is Mario Lacavala. He made up a whole line to me.
Look at this, Andrew. Go out with married women. They will never show up with flowers and candies. They will show up, close the curtains, and say they have an hour. They're stuck in traffic. Oh my God, it's dark.
I mean, listen, sexual evolution is a lot of different things. Like there is this Puritanism. There is this. Listen, it's a thing. Marriage. Do you think? Does anybody think? And I am a very loyal person. But if John Hamm asked me to hook up, I would kind of hope that Paul would say, like, dude, go for that.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's kind of arrogant for anybody to think that they're enough for anybody for the rest of their life. And I'm not saying this applies to my life, because it does not. But in fantasy, it does. In theory, it does. In theory, I would be like, listen, if Brad Pitt's your guy, I'm going to give you the hall pass. Everybody talks about their hall pass. I think it's healthy because, ride or die. Why, if somebody finds you attractive, why shouldn't you engage? It's good for your ego. It's good for your brain. It's good for.
Oh my God, I'm just looking at this Daily Mail thing. Hermes reportedly flew 5 planes full of Birkins into the US to avoid tariffs.
Hermes.
Hermes.
Well, because no one can afford a Birkin bag to begin with, except my friend Kate.
Well, some can, and they need to have them.
What is the average price of a Birkin bag? 12 grand?
12, 15, something like that.
Yeah,
and then
it's a lot of money.
They're worth double or triple depending on which one it is.
Jim Patterson, Gore Vidal, who is a very, very fucked up dude, by the way.
Yeah.
Read everything you can on Gore Vidal.
He's
fascinating
brilliant,
guy. Brilliant. Never pass up a chance to have sex or be on TV. Do you know that Mimi stayed in Gore Vidal's apartment?
Really?
Yeah, when she went to Europe, I think it was in Madrid. Forgive me, meme. I forget where it was, but Gore Vidal had a fabulous apartment that is now an Airbnb, and she had said it was unbelievable, incredible. Listen, like when it comes to like the I'm beguiled by. I'm making the right turn.
That's fine.
You started. I'm amazed by the tariffs and how people are making excuses for the tariffs and all that stuff, and how it doesn't really make a difference, and how it's all going to come out in the wash. It all depends on how much Kool-Aid you drank. But I'll tell you this, Paul and I are not rich people, but Paul is a much better saver than I am. I am more of a, this money goes to this and this bill. And I'm much better at transactions. Paul's a much better saver. He's had a 401k and a couple of Oasis accounts, things that like are for our future. I'm the guy that pays the Con Ed bill, and he's the guy that pays for tomorrow.
Okay.
And we've lost a shitload of money in the last week and a half. And he's like, I'm getting really worried now. I'm like, well, we're trying to figure out what to do. We don't know what to do.
I said it was John, actually. We were just talking, was it last week or 10 days ago, or last week? And he was like, it's fucking crazy. I'm losing money hand over fist here and watching my 401k disappear in front of my eyes. And he's like, I think I might diversify. And then I was like, you know what? You might behoove you. Go out and buy the watches. Because, at the time there was the 31% tariff on Switzerland. And I was like, you never know. These things might start coming back up again, especially in the States where there might be 31%. But there was another guy, I won't say who, but someone in Geneva as well, who is pretty wealthy and said that he was well into the 6 figures of losses. And that was last week. So pretty wild stuff. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Who's drinking the Kool-Aid enough? Travis says I took my retirement account. Like, listen, Travis, I wish we had we'll trade numbers later on, but I didn't think that was going to be necessary. And I'm not a Trump guy.
Well, it's all been happening very fast. I mean, in fairness to everybody, I think if they had a little bit more time and warning, I think a lot of people would have taken their stuff off the market and made adjustments to protect themselves and weather the storm. But it's happening so quickly. In the morning, we could wake up and the Dow will be at 36, in the by tomorrow morning, it might open at 36 and a half, even worse than before. I don't know. Really wild. The Chinese don't look like they're going to blink at all. And
no, they're not blinking. Why should they? Why should they?
Why should
this
they?
This is all an exercise in futility.
The thing about the Chinese as well, they weren't. They weren't. They're recently wealthy, but before that they weren't. So they're accustomed to weathering through. They did the COVID thing hardcore and didn't blink for a split second. They've got a higher pain threshold, is what I'm trying to say, than the United States has.
I spent 3.5 hours with an attorney this morning trying to figure out DL and that shit and talking about all that stuff.
Okay.
And decided to hire him because I'm dealing with an entity that I do not understand. I do not understand this culture or this person or the way they work. And he was like, don't worry. And I was like, you know what? I like that. Here's your boy, John. Hey, John.
Oh,
I
John's in
moved a
here.
good amount and saved the bulk, but the loss is still stung. Yeah. You know
Yeah,
what?
okay.
When Paul told me
Hope
like
he doesn't mind
75
me
grand, you know what I
mentioning.
said to him? I said, we had 75 grand. I said that.
Yeah, you didn't know. Well, he plays his cards close to his chest, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well,
That's
because,
fine.
like I was like, could we, I said, we could afford to lose that. You know what I mean? The Chinese are a
Yeah.
dynasty. It's totally true. It's a totally different thing. Yeah, because like our Italian retirement and our Italian, now Paul has me on this great new channel, and she's the cutest. Said China is not the country to fuck with. America is nation. The Chinese are. Yeah, it's true. It's completely true.
Yeah, out of all the people to kind of go head to head with, but meanwhile Europe was, Ursula pulled out, she unholstered her sidearm and went 25%. She got the AOK from all of the EU. And so fucking Trumpster was on the fucking lawn there going, well, they basically selling the idea that they didn't retaliate, so they're being rewarded now. We'll do an art of the deal, whereas China disrespected us, so now we're gonna punish them.
Sure.
I'm like, what kind of fucking obscene shit is this? And talking about other countries being on the phone begging, please, like he's holding other smaller countries in
Nobody's
a date.
begging for anything.
No, they aren't. I don't believe any of it.
No, they're not.
75 countries were on the phone. Okay, that means about 17 were on the phone. Okay, keep
Do
going.
people believe that?
50.
Like, oh my god,
Well, they
the
believe everything he
savior.
says. They believe everything he says. It's fucking unbelievable.
Do you know what somebody said? Like a guy I know on Facebook, and I'm never on Facebook, but I go on there occasionally because people write to me. And he wrote, Donald Trump's charitable organizations and all this stuff. And he's like, he's a great man. People are like, he's a great man. He's a great man. He's a great man. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You guys not from New York? Do you not know what a complete and utter total turd bag that guy is?
Well, everyone from New York should know.
They
don't
should
have any.
know. How
At
do
least
you not
somebody
know that?
Yeah, someone in Arkansas I can
No,
excuse
Arkansas I
because they
get,
don't
but
know.
this guy's
But
from New
New
York. I'm like,
Yorkers, everyone knows
how
that
do
he sold all those apartments in that Trump building on Fifth Avenue to
Oh.
Russian oligarchs who kept their
Completely.
identity a mystery, and he just sold them for cash.
For cash.
They were bringing
Plus,
boxes
he
and
pays
boxes
everybody
of cash.
10 cents on the dollar for any beam, any ceiling, any plumbing, everybody knows that. Anyone in New York, any New Yorker has known for the last 40 years who that guy is. So your excuse is you're from Arkansas or Alabama, but you have no excuse if you're from New York or Connecticut or New Jersey or any of those places. You have nothing at all. And this guy was like, "Oh man!" And I looked at him, and I don't reply to Facebook because I'm done with that shit. But
Yeah,
my
there's
God,
not much point. They
what
were
is
all
the
in
point?
those characters were all in my comments as well, the recent
Yeah.
videos, and
Yeah.
it's
I gotta pee. Go
yeah,
talk.
go ahead. I'll get some comments here while we're at it.
That's worth it.
Travis made the move before the 2024 election. You made the move of your funds. You diversified. That was smart. Listen, losing money is a violence. I know it's just money. It's not your health, but it can have an effect on your health in many, many ways. And these people who are, these Bernie Madoffs and so on, who left people high and dry, ruined lives. Ruined lives. It's not to be messed with. Greetings, good people, says Bobby Bowley. We got John's stuff. That's it. Oh yeah, the S&P. Where is the S&P, Chris? Despite Trump, the S&P is still plus 4.68. The Dow spiked back up, but it didn't come up very much. It didn't come back up to 43.58, wherever it was before. It was up at 40 point something. It opened weak this morning. I think it closed at 40 point something. So it's still way down, but it's not as bad as it was, a few days ago. The real problem is the bonds, the yields on the bonds. That's why the dollar is so weak right now. I've seen it in real time on Chrono 24. I was looking at watches that are listed in New York, thinking if I buy that watch, I can have it shipped to Dirk, and next time I see him, I can pick it up, or something along those lines, or fly Dirk over or whatever, or fly over myself and pick it up. But I saw a watch go from 12,000. The price didn't change. The person who listed the watch has not changed the price. They haven't touched their price. But of course, I'm buying in euros, and I'm seeing the dollar price come up, the euro price come up, and the euro price keeps dropping because of the exchange rate. And the watch went from 11,990 or something to, I think it's 10.5 now. I mean, it was a sharp. I even checked it in the middle of my own stream there 2 hours ago, and it was I think it was 880 against one, like $1,000 was 880 euros. Like, that's weak. That's going back now a few years. Same as it was a few years ago. Pretty weak, because in recent months, probably in the past year, the dollar and the euro were roughly the same. There wasn't a huge difference, and I have my ear to the ground all the time with that, because I do still get a lot of revenue in US dollars, and my taxes are all still US. But of course, I'm living in a country where I have to spend euros, so I'm aware every day almost. I check that currency rate, so I see it in real time. I have my eyes on it all the time. And that's when you're in trouble. Once the treasury, because the stock market is not the economy. I know a lot of people mistake it. It isn't the economy. It's adjacent to the economy, but it isn't the economy. Once bonds and notes and the yields on bonds and so on, once Japan started dumping American bonds like fucking filthy underwear, now you're touching the treasury. Now you're touching the value of the dollar. And that's, Jesus Christ. It's the funny thing about this crash, if it does happen, or recession possibly, God forbid.
It's about to happen.
It'll be, maybe the first time in history, a self-inflicted by the president.
Oh, yeah.
Normally presidents are trying to handle a crash that happened because of other exterior
They aren't the
things.
impetus, yeah.
They aren't the impetus. Now, some of them handle it better than others, of course, in history. And the Wall Street crash of 29 wasn't handled very well. But this one is actually created by the guy who's supposed to be protecting the people.
He has no interest in you or me or anybody else.
It's just his buddies, his golf
yeah.
buddies. It's his
That's
golf
all
buddies.
it is.
Yeah.
Chris on the Upper East Side says, go back and look at the Central Park 5, and it shows you who he is, and he's always been. Completely true. Those guys were completely innocent, and he moved to convict them. Eddie,
I was watching that that famous interview with Tony Schwartz, the guy who wrote The Art of the Deal, the actual author.
The actual author.
Who says that, Trump never wrote a word of that. It's unlikely he even read it. Unlikely he even read that book. And that's about the most eye-opening interview you'll ever see about him. So,
I mean, he's the classic example of the Emperor's New Clothes. People have absolutely... that these people who have been so completely blinded by who he is as this factice of a human, of a politician that he is. I'm amazed by it. And listen, you lived here 20 years. I've lived here my whole life. We all know who that guy is. I mean, I'm amazed that anybody is shocked by it now.
But even, let's leave the bashing of him alone for a minute. Just not for any good reason. Just let's look at it logically. That okay, let's say 6 months from now or a year from now, all these moves turn out to be beneficial for America in general, and that's who the guys, the MAGA guys in my audience are trying to say. They're all saying, you don't see his master plan going on, but whatever they're trying to. Then I'm like, okay, so now it's a religion. Now you've turned it into a religion because you're saying, have faith, trust the process, and have faith, and weather this crazy storm where you're losing your money, where the dollar's going to shit and so on, and just hold on tight because Tronald,
we're holding on there, Donnie.
He's going to lead us into the light. That's a lot to ask for a lot of people who don't have a whole lot of savings and so on. Imagine some old couple who can't even
It's always
generate
the
revenue.
elderly.
Yeah, it's always the elderly. They're first to get fucked, right?
Because they live on an absolute finite budget. What they have is
Right.
all they have. Like
Right.
you and I could go sell hot dogs in a cart. We could if we
Right.
had to. We could
Yes.
go do that, but they can't do it.
They can't.
They can't do it. And that is why they've always been the object of desire for scammers and all the
Yeah,
people from
fuckers.
India and all that stuff, because they're
Yeah.
taking all their money. I've lived through it with my parents, with Rose, people who call them. One time I walked into Rose's apartment and she had her credit card in hand. She was reading the numbers. I had to take her cards away from her because holy shit.
She was
And
about to
that's-
give some guy on the phone her money.
she was going to give her money away, and there's no difference. There's no difference. It's
Now they're doing
domestic and or in the
Now
wild.
they're doing it with AI. I have a terrible fucking fear that somebody, because of my voice is very easy to capture, because there's hours and hours and hours, thousands of hours of it publicly all across the internet, that, they use AI and fucking somehow find my mother and have what my mother thinks is her son calling her going, "Hey mom, I need cash."
I need the
or
cash,
something
right?
like,
And she'd give it in his heartbeat.
Well, of course, but like that terrifies me. I already warned her, like, we need a code, like some question to say, "Son, what was your favorite movie when you were a little kid?" or something like that. That the AI wouldn't know the answer. You know what I mean?
Well, AI so far nowadays mispronounces every word, every other word. So like, I think it's kind of, I mean, maybe to you and I, but like somebody like your mom, your mother's a sharper tack than Rose, but my God. I mean, you see, like they'll be like Marilyn Monroe, they're
Yeah.
like it. I mean, it's coming to a theater near you, of course, as all things AI are, but it's very, very scary how when you have people who are on a limited budget, like I work on Rose's budget every day. I work on my father-in-law's budget every single day, and I see what they have to work with. There's no possibility for them to add extra income to what they have because they can't go out and earn it for themselves. They have to rely on their investments and or their Social Security, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they are the perfect people. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying to the audience when you went to the restroom, this kind of stuff is violence. It's as violent as physical violence, maybe even worse. I'd rather have my head kicked in on the street than someone take everything I've worked for. You know what I mean? Away. I'd rather have someone break my arm than see all the money just disappear or whatever. That's a violence, because that affects you, affects your family, everyone who depends on you, and so on. It's terrible.
Eddie, $5. Every guy needs their heart broken once. You need it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had your heart broken, Oisin?
I have.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that it happened.
God,
yes.
I'm devastated.
Yeah. Lucky it happened to me when I was very young. You don't want to go through that later in life. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good point, Eddie.
That's beautiful. Somebody I met the same year I met Paul broke my heart. And I thought it was like a real thing, a real relationship was going to really happen. Now, I had a girlfriend in high school who I loved, and I still love her to this day. And we're still very good friends. She turned out to be a lesbian, so we're all good. And it's great.
Yeah.
She's beautiful, and she's Croatian. It's funny because Paul's Croatian too. So it's all amazing. He's Italian Croatian. But this person destroyed my soul in such a way that I actually did crazy things. Like I don't drive. I stole my brother's car, and I drove to their house, and I did crazy things. Thank God it happened when I was so young. Later in life, it could freaking kill you. It could absolutely kill you to have your heart broken.
Well, yeah, I mean, heartbreak is. You think
real,
it's just
man.
this? It's an invisible thing, but actually, you'll get gray hairs out
So
of it.
physical.
It will
makes
affect
you
your
sick.
health.
The only
Like
thing
stress.
that it did for
Like
me
stress.
was it made me get down to 100, and I got down to 117
It's great for losing
pounds.
weight. It is great for looking good.
I went to
but
a
you feel like
doctor,
shit.
and I was 117 pounds at 21 years of age, and he said to me, "What is going on?" I said, somebody dumped me, and I just didn't expect it, and it was really rough. And he said, you need to go on protein drinks, and because I was 117 pounds, who was 117 pounds, and it was bad, but man, I looked good in clothes. Fuck.
Man, that's just normal.
And
stuff.
it was fine. But
I
yeah,
remember I lost a lot of weight too, and I remember putting back on the weight. And somebody said, "Oh, you've put on a few pounds," and I was like, "I'm delighted," because you know what that means. That means I'm getting happy again. You know, that means
Yeah.
I'm finding solace again in life, in everyday life, and I'm looking on the bright side of things, and I'm thanking my lucky stars. I still have my health and family and things like that. That's what that means. So I don't mind the extra few. This shirt is tight on me now, but I don't care.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I'd
Mm.
rather have that than have the baggy
Yeah.
shirt.
1,000,000%. Joe, very interesting question. The real question is, will you eat your words as loudly as you condemn and insult him if he's right? I would.
It's going to be
I don't think it's possible,
It's going to
but
be
that's
very.
just where I stand. But would I? Yeah, I would.
It's just going to be very hard to know, because even if every even as we see things go badly, he's still taking a victory lap. Even for things going badly, he's still taking a victory lap as if it's a win.
When things are bad.
So it's going to be.
Yeah.
There's no way to
I
decipher.
mean, how does anybody not see the fact that
and
when
truthfully,
everybody's suffering, he's making victory laps?
And truthfully, if he's, let's say he's right, what is the evidence of him being right? That's years from now, slow progress in the country.
That's a better question. The real question, Joe, is when do we know that he was right? Like, we just lost 75 grand in our investment portfolio. $75,000. Holy shit. Like, when will I know that, yay, he was right? When will I know that all of that stuff was the right way to go? When will that happen?
It's unlikely that anything could be proven that cleanly and clearly and decisively. You know, these are any kind of improvement in the economy, the country. We'll have to look back at it in years to come and look at a graph and look.
Do I have to wait years to get that money back?
I don't know what to tell you.
It's gone. I don't know. Like, that was like fantasy money anyway, because I wasn't the guy that invested it and used the guy.
Sure.
I wasn't, because I'm just the guy that pays the Con Ed bill.
Yeah,
in regard to Trump being, but it's very interesting. And listen, we all have to eat our words if we're wrong, don't we? And we should.
Well, certainly.
No one should be that egotistical and stupid that they can't.
Also, it's
eat their words.
With Joe, you think we're being loud. That's it's a very interesting question for many reasons. He thinks we're being loud about Trump. We're actually not. We're being perfectly logical and decisive about it. We could be loud. We could be I know people who are very loud about the Trump thing.
Should we not say anything about losing 75 grand?
He thinks we're being loud about it.
But he's not
way worse.
Trumper. He's not, because we've had that conversation before. I think he's just asking a theoretical question. I think so. Yeah. Because we've had this conversation. He and I have had that before. I think he's just trying to gauge set the temperature of the room. And that's fine. Listen, if I'm wrong, I'm the first guy to say I'm wrong.
It's good news for America and common Americans, regular American hardworking folk, if what they think he's going to do is right. I think he'll be satisfied with what he does because he'll make his friends rich. His golf buddies will be rich. He won't care about the rest of us, kind of thing. But if what they think he's out to do, which is make America first and, I don't know, strengthen the economy, it was already a strong economy as it was. But if that comes true, then that's helping regular Americans, so you would have to admit that it's true, wouldn't you?
Roar the Tiger himself. That's very Irish of you.
Himself
has no sense of history. He's lived through the Cuban Missile Crisis, but was unaware that nuking a hurricane would irradiate thousands and create fallout. Forget the market crash, Hoover, and Smoot Hawley. I mean, listen.
Well, he discovered a new word: groceries.
Oh my God, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But you know what? Like back in the day, like Freddie Mercury, he's a big queen. He's like, darling, I'm so rich, I don't know the price of an egg. Donald Trump really doesn't know the price of an egg.
Yeah. It's a
Like
new
that
word.
is an actual thing.
Groceries.
When he talked about groceries, and I've told this on this on the show a million zillion times, and I'm not to belabor a point, but I used to cut his mother's cold cuts. She was my customer at Shopwell on Union Turnpike in Jamaica Estates, Queens, and his mother had absolutely no idea what anything cost, nor did she care. Because her husband, Fred Trump, was a very rich developer who fucking decimated Queens and destroyed it and ripped off tons of black people. The Trump boys are not good boys. But she was lovely and she was very sweet. And I would say to her, Munster cheese is on sale for $3.99 a pound. And she'd be like, is that good? She had no idea what stuff cost, but she would ask me to slice boar's head bologna paper thin and put it in a big like plastic container for like potato salad. And she was always a little bit inebriated because his mom and everybody in his family had a problem with alcohol, except for him. That's why he doesn't drink.
Right.
And that's well established. But he came from such a place of privilege that he has zero idea what groceries are. He has no idea when he goes groceries. Has any? Can you pull that up?
The
that
groceries
thing?
Sure.
Because if you've not seen this, you need to see this. And we're not one of those political channels but if you've never seen this, it just makes you wonder, like, how anybody in the world could say any of these things. Because it is so mind-boggling to me that he has no concept of what groceries are.
Well, I'll pull up the Daily Show clip.
Yeah, sure.
Humorous as well. Yeah, just goes.
Hey, Pierre Palm, great to see you, buddy. Yeah.
Recently, one mysterious word has been stuck in Trump's brain.
I went on the border and I went on groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries. Like almost, who uses the word? I started using the word, the groceries.
Yeah, groceries. I mean, who uses that word except everybody all the time? So now I'm wondering, does Donald Trump know what groceries are?
Groceries. It sort of says a bag with different things in it.
Yeah. We're on the right track. Not all bags with things in them are groceries. Can you ask your brain to narrow it down a little bit?
The word grocery, it's sort of simple word, but it sort of means like everything you eat.
Everything you eat. So simple, so almost correct. It says everything, yet absolutely nothing. Let's keep digging.
Such a basic term, groceries. The groceries, they mean every single item of grocery.
Every single item of grocery. I have to say, I never thought of it like that. I thought groceries were merely some items of grocery, but every item of grocery?
I mean, we're laughing, but my God.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying stuff.
I mean, Freddie Mercury used to say, darling, I'm so rich, I don't know the price of an egg. He's never known the price of an egg. He's never needed to know the price of it. He's never needed to know what anybody needs to make ends meet. Nor does he care. And I'll eat my words, Joe. I will. I'll eat my words. If you can get my 75 grand back. Yeah, of course I would. Why wouldn't I? I'm not a, I'm not, I'm not,
Can I tell you one thing? If you get the 75 back somehow, fucking withdraw it and stick it under your mattress.
We will do that because to the mattresses, baby.
I was saying it on my episode the other day. I was like, it's not the tariff, because at the time we thought that it was Swiss watch market, being tariffed so heavily. And I said, it's not the tariff that might kill the watch industry, the Swiss watch industry in the USA. It's the uncertainty that people have.
I loved
just
that
the
show,
uncertainty.
I watched that show and I loved it, and it was gold because it was
when
all
people
about fear mongering.
If people are uncertain, they won't spend, they won't buy anything, they won't move, they won't make a move when they're uncertain. And while there's all this uncertainty, I mean, even the stock market today it was in flux, man. It was gone because nobody
People don't
knew
know what to do.
They don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do. And I'm not gonna. I had a little conversation with a couple of people, and my little connection to that world.
Yeah.
And I talked to one of the biggest people in that world, and I asked him a private question about the market and Donald Trump, and he goes, "We're fucked." That's what he said, and he's one of the biggest movers and shakers in the history of finance. And I went, wow.
And you know that will have a knock-on effect on other countries. It's not just the United States, of course. Global markets are all intertwined. They all rely on one another. They all interact with one another. The whole fucking world will feel it.
What do you want to say about Kevin O'Leary and his recent statements on China?
Stupid bollocks. I put that into my video.
Would you just want to smack? Because first of all, I hate that cunt with all of my soul.
Also,
and
he went on the reciprocal tariffs thing. They're not reciprocal.
Well, he doesn't understand. First of all, how does a guy like that not understand what that is?
He doesn't understand trade deficits.
No, he doesn't. But meanwhile, we're not rich people, and he's super rich.
Did he really think that Switzerland had a 62% tariff on?
Where did that come from?
That was it's the trade deficit between the two countries. As in, Switzerland can buy American products, but even if they all bought American products tomorrow with all their money, they could never really put a dent in what America buys from Switzerland. America is such a big consuming monster. It's so much bigger in population. It's 40 times the size in population. There will always be a disparity.
In Switzerland.
It was such a
that guy makes me just want to smack
Kevin
him
O'Leary
inside the head. Yeah, that guy.
Well, then he perpetuated the trust the system. What he's trying to do is put a gun to everyone's head so that they'll cooperate. See, this is the whole thing. This is what they're going on. They're saying it's a big ploy to scare people into making a better deal in trade, or even erasing trade barriers between countries. So there's absolutely no trade barrier at all, no tariff whatsoever, which is going to be a problem for all countries. I mean, that would be wild if that happened, and it's not going to happen. But this is what they're saying, is that, don't believe that remember the big pallet he brought out, the big fucking Denny's menu that he stole from.
I saw that.
And, that big thing. And, even if, they were all made up numbers and ridiculous. Madagascar were hit with like 48% because the trade disparity, the trade imbalance between Madagascar and the United States is huge. They're a poor country. They only have one export, which is vanilla, and America buys all its vanilla. 80-90% of vanilla that comes into America comes from Madagascar, and
isn't that where all the great Haagen-Dazs comes from?
They don't have anything else to sell. And they certainly don't have the money enough to be buying the same amount of beer or some other produce from the United States. So of course there's a trade imbalance. Trade imbalances aren't bad. They're a perfectly normal thing to be there. It's like looking at a small child who's shorter than you and blaming that they're smaller than you. No, it's not a bad thing. They're just small and you're large. That's not you being ripped off. That's just one guy is smaller than you. That's all that is.
Sure.
It was twisted into this thing of like, look at how they're ripping us off. Come on, man. Maybe China are up to some shenanigans. We all know that, right?
No.
How could that?
No, that couldn't possibly be happening. It's impossible. Kevin O'Leary was paid $15 million to promote FTX, so that's reflective of his integrity and character. Listen, that guy, I've never been a fan of that guy since he was on Shark Tank.
And his deals on Shark Tank are slimy too.
There's the worst. The Croatian guy always has the nicest, kindest kind of.
Yeah,
most interesting.
or Cuban on the other end. He always had more realistic stuff like,
Yeah.
listen, I'm out because I just don't want to get involved in this. Whereas O'Leary like sees the vulnerability of the person standing in front and goes, I'll give you half the money and I want $1 back for every sale you get. And he's just a cunt.
He's
just
a cunt,
wanker. You know, he's not
Joe
a businessman. He's a wanker.
Joe says the DJ at Dow Jones Industrial was $17K 10 years ago. Well, that's 10 years ago. Like, look at the price of an apartment. Here's a perfect example, Joe.
Yeah, but here's a perfect example of, look, it's an example of something else. Look, he's comparing, he's saying, look, we're at 41K. We were at 43 and a half 6 days ago, for fuck's sake. And it was at 39. We're not at 41, by the way. We're just over 40. And it was at 39 only a few hours before that.
It was 38.8 4 days ago.
But look at the way he's twisting it there, you see?
Well, he's not twisting it. He's when he looked at it. He's not the type of guy to twist it. But like, listen, like 10 years ago, you can't compare anything. Like an apartment in New York City used to be $900. Now it's $4,900. Like stuff just costs more now because the numbers mean something different. That's all. That's all it is. But it was 43 last week. So,
you know, I'll just say that, you know, hey, people used to die of a toothache 150 years ago, and now we don't. Thanks, Trump. Like, there's no point there, Joe. With all due respect, you don't have a point. Not even the ghost of a point, right there. Sorry, brother.
I'm kinder about it. I just think that's slightly.
No, but I think that's dangerous shit. Because I got messaged all day long. Oh, did you see gold is up? Gold is up. You see, he's our king. He's the king. He's the legend. He knows what he's doing. You know, and I'm
he
like,
doesn't know what he's doing.
What are you fucking talking about? Your bonds are way down and being thrown out the fucking window.
Bonds. Jesus Christ Almighty. We're like we have this guy. Paul's got this guy that his Aunt Gloria was this spinster, and she worked as an executive secretary. She was so smart, saved all her money, and she turned Paul onto this guy. And this guy's an old man, and he looks at stuff so pragmatically, and he's like, "Don't do this, don't do that." He goes, "Whatever you do," he goes, "whatever you do, don't buy gold right now." That's what he just told Paul. He's like 90 years old. He's don't buy gold. I was like, why? He goes, just don't. And I was like, okay. I like, it makes you wonder like who to listen to at this point. Like, you know, we talk about like diamonds and how there's billions of diamonds and there's more diamonds and fake diamonds are better than diamonds. But gold is like, that comes from some far off universe and some supernova. Like that shit is truly rare. Like, we don't have any gold that's innate to the planet Earth. That shit came from a supernova. Maybe we should just wait for Beetlejuice to explode. I don't know what else to think about it. But, like, listen, at the end of the day, and the problem nowadays is people can't have any kind of friendly discourse. And they can't just do it. And we can, as long as people are just open-minded and stupid. Like Travis says, don't let the brightest off that easy. Propaganda is being spread by both sides. It is. Of course it is. Of course it is.
It is.
I mean, it's kind of worse on the right. I will say that. Like, because it is. Because they have channels dedicated to just that. Just that. Whereas I don't know if there's any channels that are just super liberal. I don't know. CNN is not that super liberal. Whereas
CNN is always just looking for a reason to hammer at Trump.
Yeah,
no matter what.
They are.
You just gotta.
Like, have you ever
I wouldn't use CNN as.
Have you ever seen news?
Oh, I've seen some of this stuff. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, it's like if you only listen to that, then of course you believe that because that's all you know. But if you listen to AP or Ground News,
even Fox News now are caving.
They're caving.
Fox News are saying, "Hey, it was the bonds. He got the shits up him." Because of that, and this was no victory at all. And that's fucking Fox. Those guys try to put sugar all over everything that guy does. So that should tell you something.
Yeah. I love you, Joe, but you know, there are always fluctuations, but in long term it improves. All empires fall, my friend Joe LaFaro. Every empire in the history of human civilization.
I'm
has
just saying,
fallen.
look at the leap of faith that we all have to make that they're implying.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you got to look at the long term. And so, why did we have to stick this fucking dagger into our leg to just watch it
better.
heal? Oh, it's way better than the other.
Oh my God. It is
It's just
a
a higher
totally
quality wine.
different bottle of wine. And I'm so sorry that Paul and I drank that because I drank most of it. This is magnificent. It is so soft
shit.
and beautiful.
Oh shit!
I mean,
okay.
I'm just saying.
Well,
you know what? In
I just
Star
guessed
Trek,
'cause the other
there's
one
no
was older.
United States, my friends, and you know why? Because you know what? I don't think there's going to be United States in 100 years. I think we're going to drift towards a world economy. I think we're going to break the borders down. And like, who cares at the end of the day? Who fucking cares? Does anybody need to identify as this, that, or the other? Does it matter?
There's SG Collins has a brilliant little vocal essay on this from years ago on YouTube that patriotism is a religion, and the observation of what patriotism is and borders and why they're there and what how people see them and so on. It's actually quite brilliant. I'll go look for it, but yeah, I guess the idea in Star Trek is that once we become in contact with people from other parts of the universe,
We realize that
realize that we should just kind of all be one.
We should be one now. Like, as Americans, I hate the fact that there are all this divisive accounts of being an American. It just makes no sense to me. We're in this together, bastards. We should all be like really rooted together, but we're not, Joe, you're so right. At one point, we had discussions about art, science, travel, history. Now all we do is talk about trouble money. But the problem is, it is boring, but it's making people not be able to afford art, science, and travel.
Joe is so annoying to me tonight. What do you mean at one point? We continue to talk about whatever comes to mind in whatever moment. Next week we'll be talking perhaps about something else. If you want myself and Dirk
conversation.
Yeah, it's getting a little boring because you're fucking boring. Then switch off, Joe.
I almost couldn't afford to go to Mexico. I almost couldn't afford it until I finally found a good deal. Because
you swear we were coming on here every single week talking about. And Joe sat through a year of it and said, "Oh, do you remember the bad old days?" We're just talking about this tonight at the back end of a 3-hour show. Joe, you're pissing me off now.
Nah. You boys.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, that's debate and that's stuff. I didn't know. Like, is Joe a Trump guy?
Listen, Joe he's wealthy. He's a Republican, and he has a particular affinity for the area of Miami. So do the math. I mean, he's a lovely guy.
Isn't Miami like mostly Jewish folks? I know he's not Jewish; he's Italian. But aren't all mostly Italians?
Extremely right wing.
Democratic.
Everywhere I went, there were MAGA hats. Absolutely
in Miami.
In Miami,
but it's all
every
Spanish
store.
And Jewish, and I don't.
Yeah, but the Cubans? They're the most converted.
What's in it for
hard right wingers?
What's in it for them?
You'll never hear anyone more MAGA than the offspring of immigrants who came into America. Even the Irish Americans are extremely conservative. I did a thing on TikTok trying to clarify that because somebody was asked about that stuff. And I was like, no, Irish Americans are not like the Irish. The Irish are mad progressive lefties. The Irish Americans
not entirely that.
There's very, very, very few that are on the right. Very, very few on the right. The Irish Americans are extremely right. I don't know any progressive Irish Americans. Every Irish American I know is a Bush and a Trump and a.
I never understood that, and I dealt with that with my dad because my dad was extremely Republican.
Yeah,
and, but there are like Kate Mulgrew when she talks about if anybody reads her incredible book, she grew up in Des Moines, Iowa, and her dad was an Irish American, first generation. And he was extremely democratic. So I think it's when you're in the big city centers, when you're in New York, or like for example, you go to Long Island or New Jersey, everybody's going to be extremely right wing versus the city where we have a diversity of culture and all that stuff. But when everybody, I don't want any of those fucking people moving onto my block, and you have all that shit that goes on. That's when that happens.
Yeah.
And let's not pretend that that's not a real thing, because it is a real thing. You know, hey Donald,
Anyway,
great
listen.
to see you in the room. Miami's a conservative when the snowbirds are in town. Otherwise, it is usually liberal. See, I believe that. I believe that that's true. I think that people.
I mean, it's liberal in the sense like sexuality and stuff like that. Certainly in the beach area, but
yeah,
shit, everyone I ran into, I mean, it was pretty hardcore. Florida is essentially a very, very Republican part of the world. And Miami in particular, especially the immigrants and the offspring of immigrants, hardcore.
Sure.
And as I said, I've never seen so many MAGA hats in my fucking life. In
I mean,
every store on people's heads. It's also super, super Zio as well.
I have
Tons of
never
that stuff
worn an
everywhere.
Iron Maiden hat or a Kiss hat, or I've never worn a brand hat. And I want to thank Todd Confessori for saying, "Are they paying you?" Because he
What a
was the
travesty.
greatest. Yeah.
We don't always agree on everything, but the leap of faith argument is real. Political ideology and patriotism has become religion. Yeah, because right now, while everything, like if Biden was pulling this shit, they'd be fucking going nuts, right? But you'll give
Obama said, if I pulled this shit, what would people have done?
Yeah, and Obama's no saint or anything.
By the way,
no
if Donald Trump tries for a third term, Obama said he'll run.
I mean, he'll have to rewrite the Constitution.
No, if he, well, isn't that not up for grabs now?
Which amendment is it? 14th, 13th, 14th?
I'm not that great at that.
I think it's the 14th.
There are far more scholars out there than I. But if he does do that and tries to rewrite that, how many Bill Clinton could be president? Donald Trump will lose. If Obama runs, he'll lose.
Well, not on. I mean, let's say for shits and giggles that the faithful turn out to be right, and there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen, I'm the first guy to say, let's bring the light at the end. I want everybody to get along. You know me, I'm the United Nations. I want everybody to get along. If I'm wrong and I'm blowing smoke up everybody's ass, I'm the first guy to say, all right, I was wrong. That would be great. I'll do it. But I don't think so.
I wouldn't count it out. I mean, if he does make those changes and then goes for a third term, apart from the fact that I don't think he would allow himself to be dethroned, I don't think he's ever going away. I think he's going to do a Putin.
So what do you say? He's going to make the presidency a 10-year?
Yeah, 20-year or lifetime, then hand it down to his daughter.
That could never, ever happen. If that happens, people will assassinate him. They will.
Well, right now we're seeing people being picked up on the street by unmarked guys with masks on, and we're seeing people getting grabbed and deported to other countries, and now they're going through people's phones. Like when my sister goes to New York.
I just got the text.
Yeah. She's going to delete stuff on her phone. They're going through people's phones, for crying out loud. So
I came home from Mexico. I got pulled off the line. I have no crazy political shit on my. I'm the worst at social media. They went through all my social media. They looked at Instagram. I had it. They went through Facebook. They looked at it. But we were pulled off the line for an hour. For an hour.
Joe, I'm not going to go at you on this, okay? I don't think, and this is why it was probably a blessing we never hung out in Miami. It's a shame that we didn't, but maybe it was a blessing. Maybe it was a blessing. Because I haven't been drinking tonight, so I'm just going to let that one slide, okay?
I mean, do you think that the Cubans were better off before or after?
After they were...
You're going to say they were liberated?
I'm going to say that, you mean, are they better off now that they've had
Not now, but do you think they were better off pre-Castro or after Castro? You think they were better off?
Well, what came after Castro? What was Castro doing?
Isolation and
from
no
who?
Access
from
to
who?
anything.
From who?
From
isolation
everyone.
from who? No, from their aggressor, just north.
From the United States.
Yes, who makes punitive measures even on other countries who interact with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't 100% agree with that, but that's
let's
okay.
not say that the woman raped herself on the street. The woman was raped by an aggressor.
I think there's a lot more nuance.
Get me fucking started on Cuba.
No, I'm not going to, because there's way more
don't
nuance.
even go there.
And I have been drinking.
That's okay.
But
anyway, shall we wrap it up?
But it's cool. I can't wait to go there.
For Joe.
Yeah. No, it's getting boring for lots of folks. Same as Venezuela.
It's a long show anyway.
It's a long show. It's a long show. Anyway, guys, thanks so much. Amazing super chatting tonight. Thank you so much. And listen, this is what we do on Friday night. We open up the discussion to talk. We'll agree. We'll disagree. You guys,
we talked about gays. We talked about gay love.
We talked about gay. Did we talk about gay love? I don't even remember. It's like all so stupid to me. Like, what's the point? They're like, gay love. You remember when Whitney Houston was talking about black love? She's like, because Bobby Brown, she was constipated. I'll never forget. It was like on Oprah, and the whole world was like, "Oh my gosh!" She's like, "That's black love," because he helped her with the fact that she was constipated. She goes, "That's black love." I was like, "Black love, gay love, who gives a shit?" Love is love, my friends. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
See. Let's wrap it up. So let's start with the super chats. Zuzu, that's not true. Helicopters, thank you so much. Andrew Wolkowicz, Travis, BM, Roar of the Tiger is the thrill of the night. Handsome Joe LaFaro for the Unforgiven. Nathaniel Hannon, Mart, Valve, haven't seen you in so long. Thank you so much. Glenn Parker, we love you. Daniel Gutierrez, Sharon, Nathaniel Hannon, Pazuzu, Andrew Wolkowicz, Roar of the Tiger, Andrew again, Nathaniel Hannon, we love you, buddy. JHB, great to see you on the rooms. Thanks so much, Rufus. So much stuff. Joe LaFaro. Travis, where have you been my whole life? I want great wrist shots from you because he's got such a great wrist. Have you ever looked at, you know what? There are wrists, and then there are wrists. This one is the latter. That's all I have to say. He's got a great wrist, man. Pazuzu, thank you so much. Nathaniel Hannon, that tchotchke merchant of Venice, Rufus, Nathaniel, Eddie, Joe LaFaro, the tchotchke again. Thank you, buddy. Andrew Wolkowicz, Nathaniel Hannon, Andrew, huge super chat. That's a huge super chat. Thank you, buddy boy. Nathaniel again, Roar of the Tiger, it's the feel of the fight. Nathaniel Hannon, Eddie, we love you, buddy. Come on my show and do a Meet the Bashers. What's the problem, man? And
I was the problem. I take it back. I take it back completely.
You know me. I'm Kid Gloves, man. I am Kid Gloves. I'm going to treat you with respect and all that stuff.
Oh, we certainly would have treated Eddie with respect.
I think he's afraid that I'm going to be like, tell me when your hymen was broken. Roar of the Tiger, $10. Thank you so much, Travis, again. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Sasheen. Fun show. Interesting show. Fantastic people. Great numbers. Really great on a Friday. Too shy to shy. Hush, hush. How do I? Ciao, guys. Arthur, thank you so much. I haven't seen you in the room in a while, Arthur. Great. Thank you so much. Great to see you in there. Feel free to speak up on the list. That's what we do on this show, man. Listen, we agree to disagree. You got a counterpoint? Bring it on. Counterpoint is missing from all of the world right now because you don't go on Fox, you don't go on CNN, you don't get the counterpoint. You got to have people come on and give you a counterpoint, unless you'll never know the difference. We love you all. You guys are the greatest. Remember to hold the door open. Remember to say please and thank you. And remember, if you meet somebody who's not so nice, take a beat, my friends. Relax. Wait for that moment. Wait until you've given them every stretch of the possible imagination. When you know that you've given up and you've exhausted all possibilities of them being a good person, and then you truly know, that they are a curse.